Bobby's gone off the rails. Bobby's gone off the rails! This Nikki Ash is Nikki Ass. I don't want to see it anymore.
I'm Jet Nick.
And I'm Kenny Arrow. And we're about to tell you some shit you didn't even know you needed to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, you were listening to Do the Damn Dive. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Do the Damn Dive podcast. I'm the Booker man of Do the Damn Dive, Jet Nick.
I'm the bearded sparrow, Kenny Arrow.
And I'm the guest.
Fuck, I'm gonna introduce your shit.
Okay, good. You're gonna introduce me? Okay, do it. I didn't know if he's gonna or not.
He's been on the show before. He is the man of 1,004 nicknames. Listen back to episode 2. You'll hear him and all his thoughts. He is the best in the world. Broken Zach, welcome to the show.
That's right. I'm built like the hottest free agent, Shane O'Mac, baby. The best in the world.
Best work punches in the game.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So if you guys saw the thumbnail before you clicked on the video, you notice it has the tagline After Hours. So what is After Hours? Well, After Hours is we're going to review WWE Smackdown, AEW Rampage. And after that, it's just going to be a free-for-all. We're going to talk about whatever's going on in wrestling. It might not even be about wrestling. We're just going to ramble. So stick around if you want to hear just us shooting random conversations out about the new WWE 2K22 game that's coming out very soon. And
March 11th, baby. March 8th,
right.
Early access.
Get your pre-orders ready. 2K sponsor us.
I got my pre-order. Don't you worry.
Visa.
This is going to be a more relaxed edition of the podcast. It is still technically episode 5, but, After Hours tagline. Can't hurt, freshen things up a little bit. And we're occasionally going to bring on some guests. And we got some coming hopefully within the next weekend. Now, this is being recorded on a Monday. It's actually Valentine's Day, and Raw is going to take place in a few more hours. But we're going to just try to pump out this podcast. We're going to review SmackDown and Rampage, of course. We got some news coming along the way. So let's just get started with the February 11th edition of WWE Smackdown. So the show opens. We get a little recap of last Friday of the interaction between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. SmackDown was live in New Orleans. Pat McAfee was absent because he was at the Super Bowl this weekend, so Corey Graves filled in for him on commentary. The opening segment, Sonya Deville. Sonya welcomes the crowd to SmackDown, her arms in a sling after last week's attack from Ronda Rousey. She's furious that Ronda attacked her last week. She lays down the law and says there will be consequences if she's provoked. Sonya requested from upper management for Rousey to be fined $100,000 for laying her hands on an official, and that she be suspended indefinitely. Adam Pearce walks out to inform Sonya that he got a message from the chairman himself, Mr. McMahon. Adam goes on to say McMahon has noticed Sonya's abuse of power as an official, and this is a quote, "If there's one thing McMahon cannot stand is a WWE official abusing their power." Now that is some irony. Adam continues to read that Sonya's request for Rousey to be suspended is denied. Furthermore, she cannot lay a hand on Naomi tonight during her title match against Charlotte Flair, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion. If Sonya disobeys McMahon's orders, her job will be in serious jeopardy, says Adam Pearce. Naomi comes out and she starts mocking Sonya for being told by her boss. Naomi says, although Sonya can't lay her hands on her, McMahon never said anything about Naomi laying her hands on Sonya. Naomi then slaps Sonya. Sonya falls down to the mat. This gets a pop out of the crowd. And now we go on to the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E versus Los Lotharios, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Before the match, Caleb Braxton interviews Los Lotharios. The two said last week they were so close to beating Kofi Kingston and Big E. That's how Angel pronounces Kofi's name, Kofi. Tonight, there won't be an almost.
What said that?
There won't be an almost because they are lethal lovers, says Humberto.
Did you say almost? Nice. He's on Raw, dude.
Almost. Yeah, that's right. Almost. The shake-up might happen soon after.
Violent lovers.
Oh, geez, you see Big E's on SmackDown, so anybody can go anywhere by looks.
Exactly. There is no rhyme or reason. We get the Los Lotharios kiss cam during their entrance. We get some old school taunting in the match from Los Lotharios. This was perfect. A few minutes into the match, the New Day hit their double stomp powerbomb combination. Angel Garza breaks it up just in the nick of time. Angel hits a moonsault to Big E to the outside. Humberto then hits a picture-perfect moonsault to Kofi for a 2 count. Closing moments of the match, Kofi takes out Humberto with a Trouble in Paradise. Kofi gets the roll-up on Angel, but Angel counters with a roll-up of his own to steal a win for Los Lotharios. This was a solid match and a great win for kind of the newer tag team. What do you guys think?
So, are they changing their names to the Lethal Lovers, or are they the Lethal Lovers, the Los Lotharios?
I think they're both.
What?
I think they're gonna just throw nicknames at them and see what sticks.
Because they have a nickname, but they also have a team name. What?
Must be just like a tagline. You'll see it on a T-shirt probably. Highest seller.
Yep.
That's the first Kenny Arrow T-shirt, the Lethal Lover.
Lethal Lover. Oh yeah.
I was so worked up that during the shakeup that just happened a few months back that they were going to break these two up because they will thrive when they're together because they're a great tag team. They shouldn't be slept on. That's for sure.
They were separate for what? Good year or so, and they didn't do nothing. So.
Exactly. So keep them as a team. Hopefully they'll win the tag titles at some point. We're going to move on to some more tag teams with the Viking Raiders interview. Eric and Ivar are facing the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at Elimination Chamber next week. The Raiders don't even get a word out before the Usos attack them. Segment ends, so the Usos got some heat going on to them. After this, we get an exclusive interview with Universal Champion Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, of course. We get a recap of Goldberg returning and acknowledging Roman as his next victim at Elimination Chamber. The interview was conducted by Michael Cole. He does a few of these from time to time. He's always kind of the backstage interviewer. He's kind of like the Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross, I guess you'd say. But Cole says the word icon. Heyman thought that Cole was referring to him, but Cole goes over. He's like, no, Goldberg's the icon because he had that insane 173-day winning streak in WCW. Roman Reigns has a fantastic line here where he says that everyone in WCW would have been winning because WCW would have still been in business had Roman been employed. Is that true? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think anything could say.
Well, you see, the thing is, Roman's friggin' family's WWE all the way, so he wouldn't have never even been there.
No.
But you know.
Yeah. Moving on here. Cole then moves on to mentioning Goldberg's 2 Universal title reigns and his 86-second victory against Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series in 2016. Roman chuckles at this and calls Brock old news and proclaims that he is the greatest Universal Champion of all time. That's kind of hard to argue because look at that's not a hard thing to,
Yeah, that is.
Roman's on the fan side after the Royal Rumble too. Holy Crowley.
Yeah.
Level defeat there, really.
Brock's been old news since like 2015, but okay.
So far, Roman's speaking facts. We go on to the next question. Cole brings up that his match between Goldberg was supposed to happen 2 years ago and asks if there's any added pressure because of that. Roman says not at all and that the pressure should be on Goldberg. 2 years ago, maybe Goldberg had the chance at winning, but times have changed. Then Heyman says the Tribal Chief will give us a spoiler. Roman finishes the interview off by saying, I'm going to Goldberg. And we all know what that means.
Squash his ass.
Hopefully, but I don't know. I think I could see this being like a 15-minute competitive match. We'll see some barricade spots and
Goldberg in a 15
I have $100 on the barricade going out on this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. Now we're on to Aaliyah versus Natalya part 4. We're going to recap of all of Natalya's misfortunes against Aaliyah ever since their 3.17 second loss to her a few weeks back. This match must be won by pinfall or submission. Countouts and DQs are a no-go. This is a pretty quick match, but the closing moments where Natalya locks Aaliyah into the sharpshooter. Aaliyah crawls to the ropes, but that does nothing to break the hold, but she has no choice to tap out. Natalya wins. After the bell rings, Natalya beats down Aaliyah after the match. Zoya Lee's music hits. She's dubbed the Protector, which I'm sure has nothing to do with Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie that came out.
Absolutely nothing to do with it. Just coincidence.
She's the Protector. Hey, I mean, she runs out, she does her thing, and we never see her for a while.
Yeah. She ain't a match yet. She's been on the main roster since about October, so.
Yeah, but I feel like she's doing a little better than Wendy Chu. She unleashes a series of kicks, forcing Natalya to retreat. Then we get a Rocky Johnson Black History Month video package narrated by The Rock. Rest in peace, Rocky Johnson. He was a fellow Canadian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what a legend. So now we're going to
You want
move
some
on.
trivia? I believe he was born in the same province as us.
Yes. You guys won't know what we're talking about. And that's, well, maybe you might know if you know us
Unless you
personally.
Google
but-
it. Unless you Google it.
Don't look too much into it. But now we got Sami Zayn hosting
don't do that.
the Insane podcast. His special guest are the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura and his pal Rick. You want to say it, Kenny? Sammy will face Shinsuke for the Intercontinental Championship next week on SmackDown. We get a video posted by WWE's Twitter account of Johnny Knoxville defacing Sami Zayn's pictures and his merchandise. He ends up throwing one of Zayn's shirts, the Sami Zayn Forever t-shirt, which is obviously a ripoff of the Jackass Forever movie, into a wood chipper. Sammy disregards all of this. He says, for now, I need to focus on getting back my Intercontinental Championship. Shinsuke and Rick Boots make their entrance. Zayn says he can't wait to see the look on Shinsuke's face when Sammy beats him for the IC title. And then he accuses Shinsuke of working with Knoxville to get into Sammy's head. Shinsuke holds up his hand to shut Sammy up, which I'm sure a lot of people want to do backstage. Shinsuke asks if Sammy's seen the new movie. Zayn obviously refers to the Jackass Forever. However, Shinsuke says no. The movie is titled Jackass Defeated. I like that a lot. Sammy starts healing on Boogs, and Boogs gets fired up. He goes to grab the microphone, but we get a little electrocuted sound effect over the speakers. This distracts Shinsuke long enough. Sammy hits his haluva kick, getting one over on Shinsuke and Boogs before the match next week. What do you guys think of this segment?
Sammy's entertaining, as always.
I mean, I don't like that this is all just set up Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn because I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that's what the tree they're barking up, and I don't like it.
I imagine that'll be the WrestleMania match, and probably for the
Bad Bunny's gonna fight Priest too.
Bad Bunny versus Priest for the US title, and you'll have Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn for the IC title, and then they can take the mid card titles away to Hollywood because Vince McMahon doesn't care about them.
Well, I think you've nailed the.
Tell us how you really
nail
feel.
right on the head there.
Tell us how I really feel. I think that the segment was fine.
Wasn't
but
the best.
I think the people involved shouldn't be involved in that particular storyline. That should be like some R-Truth 24/7 bullshit.
Some Happy Corbin stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see Happy Corbin get electrocuted. Or like I think that'd be like a funny 24/7 segment. Like I think that's where Knoxville, if they really want him in the WWE to be placed. Like imagine Jackass pranks on the people running through the crowd and shit. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a way better idea than what they're doing.
But no, they're gonna give one of the most talented people on the roster a match with someone that can't wrestle. So
yeah, and we've seen this kind of the phony electrocuted stuff. Yeah, that Knoxville segment.
Zombies.
Yeah, like the day or a few days before the Rumble, it was the Go Home SmackDown. So like a few weeks ago. Yeah, I didn't like that Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville segment at all. It was just so like corny with the zapping and the.
When he kept electrocuting him with that stick.
Yeah, like even when Johnny Knoxville held the stick, they were still doing the and Sammy had to sell for it, and that's just I don't know.
It's just cringy. Sammy, like he goes so over the top, but I could still find some entertainment in it.
Sami Zayn is definitely underrated on that roster because he tries his best with what he's given, and you really can't fault a guy. He just re-signed, so hopefully that's a good sign that they got some plans for him. And I guess if you look at it this way, he is in a prominent spot on the show, so you can't really cry for the guy. I'm sure he's loving life.
And he's getting paid.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. We're gonna move on here.
I mean,
to
I'd
Happy
love to
Corbin.
be in that position.
Me too, obviously. Fuck. I'll bleep that out. Anyway, Happy Corbin versus. Wait, this is after hours. We're going to do that. Happy Corbin versus Cesaro. Before the match, Madcap Moss and Corbin are backstage. Moss has a black eye due to the Claymore he received. I put that in air quotes. Due to the Claymore he received from Drew last week. Madcap suggests that maybe the doctors won't medically clear him to compete against Drew at the Elimination Chamber. This was a short match between Cesaro and Happy Corbin. Cesaro goes for the neutralizer, but Corbin reverses. Cesaro gets a right hand to the throat by Corbin. Then Corbin hits the end of days for the win. After the match, Madcap is backstage with the Doc. The Doc tells him to open his right eye, and then as you see, a sword comes into the frame. Drew comes in and he says he knows Madcap is faking the eye injury. Drew informs Moss that he just talked to Adam Pearce, and their match at Elimination Chamber will now be a Falls Count Anywhere. So they're adding a little bit of spice to this match that didn't really have a whole lot of, excitement going into it, in my opinion. Let's just talk about how Drew has just falling from grace ever since he got off of Raw. And now, his whole SmackDown run so far, I know it's been brief, but it's very lackluster. What do you guys think?
I think this has been the rivalry the whole time. He was still feuding with them when Jeff Hardy was there. So
yeah, they were tagging together.
I know he was injured for like a few weeks, but like still already had the match with Madcap Moss. And even
trying to put off the inevitable of Drew versus Roman, but they're trying so hard to push the inevitable that they're putting Drew in some bullshit that's making him not look good at all.
Like he had that feud with Jinder Mahal last summer. I know that's what he wanted. Man. That's what he wanted because him and Jinder's friends and all, but it was shit. I'd rather like have Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus or something right now. But
they always put on a good show, the matches they've been in.
But like Madcap Moss, what is he? I don't even know what a Madcap is. First of all,
I know what a mushroom cap is.
Anyways, like Happy Corbin's the worst gimmick Corbin's had. Like I like bum ass Corbin. When he was the cool biker dude, it was pretty cool. I mean, even King Corbin, but this Happy gimmick, it's just
I'm not a huge.
Yeah, they should have stuck with the sad Corbin for a little bit longer. And I feel really bad for Drew because he was, a monster. Like if you look past the kilt that he now wears in his entrance and the sword, he looked like a guy that could royally mess your day up. And now he's just kind of giving these goofy feuds with like you said, Mahal and Madcap Moss, Corbin, and I hope that maybe. Listen, if you don't got a spot for him in the main event picture, at least give him a little mid-card title run or something. I don't know, it's something better. I always thought that Drew McIntyre is a serious dude. And when I see him, and even some of the promos that they're making him cut, because obviously if it was his choice, he probably wouldn't cut any of these promos. Like the Big D promo.
I'll give you a little fantasy book on how I'd book this shit right now.
Let's hear it.
You'd have Drew McIntyre take that IC title, face Sheamus at WrestleMania for it, give Sheamus the win for his Grand Slam, and then after Mania, you can have your Drew versus Roman thing that they've been going to do since he joined SmackDown. That would be a hell of a lot better than the stuff we got going right now. Because that'd be perfect. Like I said, just swap it. Put Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss and Johnny Knox versus Johnny Knoxville.
It doesn't matter who's with Knoxville.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Let's just we need justice for Drew McIntyre.
I shouldn't fantasy book because I ain't supposed to be the Booker man. You're the Booker man.
Yeah, that's right, the Booker man.
But you know what? Whoever they got for a Booker man, I tell you, they don't know what they're doing.
I think we know who's the. We know where the buck stops because that's all you hear all the time. Where the buck stops. But anyways, we'll move on here to the tagline. Goldberg is back. Well, he's backstage for this episode. Goldberg is being interviewed by Cole. Before the interview gets underway, Goldberg intimidates Cole by saying, "I know you got to do your job. Don't take this personally. I love you like a brother." So Cole brings up all the chatter that Goldberg has had one too many comebacks. Goldberg doesn't listen to any of this and all what Roman Reigns is saying, etc. Goldberg says the comeback will stick this time. It will be everlasting. God forbid.
Stick him on his chin.
And he will call upon the old Goldberg. Michael Cole reiterates what Roman said earlier about things being different from 2 years ago. Goldberg says nothing has changed for him. He is still the same Goldberg. Roman will get what he deserves. It's been years coming.
Have you seen his fucking son?
Yeah, say a little bit's changed.
A lot has changed. His son's fucking brother.
Is Goldberg's son going to be the Saudi Arabia with him? So I like to see Roman Reigns choke him out.
That's a very good question. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, Sundberg is definitely going to be contracted by WWE.
Sundberg's probably not allowed in Saudi Arabia because.
If he was at that age, would you want to go to Saudi Arabia?
They probably hate children over there, knowing them.
Yeah, we won't put any of our personal thoughts about Saudi Arabia here, but anyways,
my personal thoughts. The last event was good.
Yeah, true. That is a compliment. But anyways, Goldberg says Roman will acknowledge him
canceled. I'm sorry.
As the new Universal Champion. It's all good, brother. He will go on to the main event of WrestleMania, and then Brock Lesnar's ass will be next. Goldberg wishes Roman luck with trying to Goldberg. Segment ends with Goldberg saying there isn't anyone like him.
Yeah, there's a few like him. They all play football and
see.
they really learn a spear. And then they
Do you want people that's like Goldberg or people that's better than Goldberg? Because like,
yeah, I hear that.
Well, in my personal opinion,
Yeah, I
that's
hear
a long list, but
just let me go put my forearm through a door first and see if I'm better than Goldberg, and then
I'm hit by the door, get busted
hit
over.
by a drop the Undertaker on his head. Like,
did you guys hear the report that this is his last match?
oh yeah,
far
on
on
his
his
contract.
contract?
Yeah, on his
deal?
contractual obligated.
I'm sure he'll sign another one.
Yeah,
No,
he'll sign.
but
He'll
I bet you this weekend you'll start seeing the headlines: Goldberg to All Elite Wrestling.
big on Sting.
You'll see some meme images out there.
Oh
for
my
sure.
God, Goldberg versus Sting at Double or Nothing. Book it, Tony.
TK,
Tony
listen.
Kroll.
Yeah. You got a lot of people on your roster. The last thing you need is a Goldberg running into the mix and screwing things up. Anyways, let's move on to our main event of the evening. The SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. Naomi versus the champion, Charlotte Flair. Early in the match, Naomi hits 2 crossbodies onto Charlotte. Naomi goes to hit a springboard enziguri, but Charlotte counters by driving Naomi back down to the mat by her hair. After a few submission holds, Naomi mounts a comeback by kicking Charlotte in the head and hitting a blockbuster from the top rope. Right before commercial break, Charlotte manages to throw Naomi into the steel steps to get back to the match. Later on to the match, Charlotte goes to hit the Andrade fake out moonsault. Didn't look quite good, but Naomi gets the knees up. Naomi hits the rear view, covers Charlotte, but she kicks out. A great sequence of counters between the two. They're going back and forth. Naomi drives Charlotte's head to the mat using her legs for a late kick out at 2. We get chants of "This is awesome" by the crowd. Don't know if they're piped in legitimate. But I don't know. They were putting in the work for sure. Closing moments of the match.
This is
Sorry,
something.
what was
The
you gonna say?
beginning of Naomi's
It's all right.
entrance. The beginning of Naomi's entrance had booze piped into it. I caught that shit when I was watching it. They piped in booze at first, and then they realized they screwed up, and it went to fake cheers. Go back and watch it, and you'll see it.
That's awful.
And if you think the live shows are bad, just wait till this next week of SmackDown when it's all pre-taped.
Yeah.
They're already burnt out.
We'll see what happens there. But the closing moments of the match, the two come to a standstill. Naomi attempts a rear view, but Charlotte dodges. Flair hits a chop block, then the natural selection to retain the championship. After the match, Sonya comes out and kind of taunts Naomi for losing the match. Naomi unleashes some clubbing blows to Sonya. Then Charlotte attacks Naomi from behind, leading to a 2-on-1 assault. Ronda Rousey's music plays, and she runs down for the save. She punches Charlotte out of the ring. Sonya grabs Ronda from behind, forgetting to sell her alleged arm injury. Because earlier, I forgot to mention this, but Sonya's arm was in a sling.
Her arm in front of her face, doesn't she?
Yeah, she kind of just takes it right out of the sling pretty much. But yeah, I forgot to mention that. Show ends with the two sides staring each other down. A match was confirmed, I believe, on all of WWE's social media accounts. At the Elimination Chamber, it will be Ronda Rousey and Naomi taking on the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville in a tag match. Brian Alvarez reported that SmackDown got 2.2 million viewers this week with a key demo of 0.56, which I think is a step up from last week, if I'm not mistaken.
It was okay.
Yeah. Well, so overall, what's your guys' thoughts on this whole show? Because I mean, there wasn't nothing must see to me. I don't think this go home is going to be, which we'll get to in a minute. I don't think this go home show is really going to drive hype for the Elimination Chamber.
The problem with that, the women's division in general, is that if Charlotte Flair is involved, she's going to win. So
yeah.
When I had I shouldn't say watching SmackDown, when I had SmackDown on in the background, because it was just, I just couldn't get invested in that match. I know it's a great match and all, because Naomi's great and all, but you already know what the outcome is going to be, because you're going to have Naomi versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's not something that's going to drive the paper into the book.
And listen, Naomi has a fan base behind her, and I mean, I like Naomi. She's not one of my favorites on the whole roster.
I've never connected with her, but I see it.
She's definitely one of the more like
athletic,
experienced, talented one. Like you can get into her matches. Personally, my belief.
And a former champ.
My favorite Naomi was the heel Naomi with the team bad. I liked that.
Oh, I forget about that. Yeah, I kind of missed out on that era.
Like the glow and shit's cool and all for the kids love the glow. I'm literally sitting in a chair that's glowing right now. So that's dead ass too. My chair glows, but you
didn't get that from WWE Shop.
No, I got it from Canadian Tire. It sucks. My ass hurts.
But so if you're listening this far, we're gonna put a little spoiler disclaimer on the screen because it's a spoiler. That's right.
Put in the right to censors thing.
Yeah, we're gonna put in the right to censor. You're gonna see Steven Richards on the screen. We're gonna give you a timestamp for what's gonna go down, like when to kind of tune back into us if you don't want spoilers for next week's edition of SmackDown, because obviously it was pre-taped right after this show. So it's going to be another pre-taped SmackDown. We've seen a few in the past. Same with the UK events, really. Like they sometimes get pre-taped and you see all the leaks go out. But if you're listening, you got this far, tune off right now. I'll put a timestamp, come back, and then we'll go on with the show. All right, so we're going to get into it. Next week's SmackDown spoilers. Now, F4W Online's Brian Rose reported the match card goes as follows. The opener is Roman Reigns and Goldberg face-to-face. There was no physical altercation that took place, but it was just kind of a word exchange, I guess. We have Ricochet defeating Sheamus. That's kind of surprising.
Woo!
We had Sami Zayn. Oh yeah, for sure. It's good that he gets a win, I guess. We'll see what that means next week.
My prediction, that's going to set up Ricochet and Mansoor versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland at Saudi Arabia.
Be a hell of a match.
Because Mansoor's nowhere to be seen, and they're going to Saudi Arabia. So
we get Ricochet another win.
Yeah.
Zach is a big Mansoor mark.
Yeah, I like Ali. That match was that match was good. That last Saudi show, I know I'm going off track, but tough titty. That match was good shit. Ali as a heel, that's so good. Yeah. But they wasted him. They won't fire him because they're stupid. Well, I mean, they're smart for not firing him because he's good, but use him.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what we see. So many. No, that's okay. We see that so many times with a lot of wrestlers. Like when they had
Neville, they kept him in that frozen contract.
Now I get what, because I've seen, I've watched guys like Jim Cornette, and they've said it makes sense because if one guy requests the release, that kind of sets a precedent for okay, so you released him, but you're not going to release me, and I'm sure they don't want that. If you sign the contract, you shouldn't really be able to walk out whenever.
No.
I can't put all the blame on WWE's part, but at the same time, I can, because they're obviously probably just going to let him sit at home. If you want him, if you don't want him going anywhere, you think he's a athlete who you want to keep and you got plans for, or at least put him into something, keep him and do something with him. If at the very least, if a guy like Drew McIntyre went up and said, I want my release. Okay, if I was Vince, I wouldn't grant the release because I could do a lot of I could book Drew McIntyre in a lot of different, programs. Yeah. But with Ali, he wasn't ever at the top of the card. He was for a very, very brief stint.
In the last 2 years, they've released people higher on the totem pole than Ali.
Exactly. And now they won't release him.
They released Braun Strowman and Aleister Black, right? Fresh off a return, but they won't release Ali. But probably, I imagine after WrestleMania, you'll see someone released a Finn Balor or something. Not saying he'll get released, but someone shocking, because there's always been a shocking release in each set of these releases. So
yeah,
but they'll get rid of the people that don't want to be released, but they'll keep Ali. I don't know. I don't run a business. I did half a semester in college of business, and then I
did as well.
Hey,
I'm in the same boat. Yeah. But
I don't know what I'm doing.
we'll move on. We'll talk about Ali a little bit later, but we're gonna move on to the spoiler part. There's still the spoiler part, so I'm sure if people's tuned out, they've tuned out. So we can just keep going. Sami Zayn is the new Intercontinental Champion. He defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm sure it was a hell of a match. Hopefully, it actually got some time. At least if you're not gonna have the the mid card titles on pay-per-views, at least put them on. At least give them like a good length of time on the Raws and Smackdowns.
And as I was saying earlier, there's your Knoxville match for Mania IC title.
Oh God. Let's hope that don't happen. We also got
Knoxville don't go over.
I know. We also got Ivar defeating
Sammy needs
Jimmy
to bring back
Uso.
Logan Paul.
Maybe it's
God,
versus
no.
Logan Paul at Mania.
Broken Zach, you're giving them ideas, man. You're giving them ideas. You was the best in the world, but you might lose your moniker with these booking decisions.
These
Yeah, be
booking
careful.
decisions. Shane McMahon is all elite.
Oh no!
I can't see
The
it. and I
hottest
hope
free
not.
agent, the best in the world.
Moving on.
Let's say
we got-
Ivar. Did you say Ivar defeated Jimmy
Yeah,
Uso?
so Ivar defeated
no.
Jimmy Uso. So I mean,
I
this
need
week's
to
that we
feel
saw.
that
Did they say if it was clean or is anyone involved or was that a clean win
It's
over
just
Jimmy?
these are just results that I read.
No,
I
he didn't say?
No, they didn't say.
Because if
So,
Ivar got a clean win over Jimmy Uso, that's surprising to me.
I'm sure I don't know. I feel like there's.
But I
some
can't see them
shenanigans.
cheating to beat him.
No, so I don't know what would.
I don't know. That's
That-
interesting.
I can see why they did it though, because the Usos did attack them on, I guess, last Fridays since we're in the new week. But yeah, I can. It's like, okay, the Viking Raiders got some momentum going into the pick because they want to make it look like it's not so one sided. Like obviously the Viking Raiders got no chance in hell of winning. Little throwback to Vince McMahon's theme song.
No
But yeah,
chance in hell, dude.
they got no chance of beating the Usos at the Chamber. This is a throwaway feud. They just the Usos kind of needed someone to run through to get here, and they can't do Usos and New Day again. Please, for the love of God, as much
That's
as
me, the Mania.
I know.
match.
as much as the talent's there, I love every match they have. But for the love of God, build up your tag division and have some new people in there.
Yeah, it's sad.
I mean, you think of babyface teams on the SmackDown side, like who is there besides New Day and
Nobody.
Viking Raiders? Exactly.
Cesaro and what's that guy? Mansoor.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cesaro's been fucking tagging. Oh my god!
They could have had Mansoor and Ali, but they frigged that one up.
Guys, don't listen to what Broken Zach's saying. He's a big Mansoor fan.
I'm
When we
not.
get the new game, we're gonna release some content, and
I'm
you're gonna
not playing
see
as Mansoor.
you're gonna see him draft Mansoor to NXT UK, and it's gonna be fantastic. The people are gonna love it.
He's gonna hold a Heritage Cup or something.
Actually, you want a Mansoor fact? He did compete on NXT UK a few times as a heel.
Really?
Yes.
Who was it?
On regular NXT, he was a babyface. On NXT UK, he came out as a heel and he wore a flat bill cap, and I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Look it up.
That's
All right,
weird.
I'm gonna definitely look into that once we get off the air here.
I'm gonna get a
So-
reputation as a Mansoor mark, ain't I?
yes, maybe.
I don't even-
We'll see how this goes.
I don't even know his finishing moves. Is it a moonsault? I don't know.
You know what?
Probably a meat clothesline or something.
I've watched him on like a few. I
The
watched
camel
this.
clutch.
I watched this channel called New Legacy Inc. He actually was on some of their videos, and he said his before maybe he got signed to WWE, his move was the Falcon Arrow
Oh.
on his character in the game. I don't know if that's
Cole
true.
Quinn?
Yeah, right. He did
Mans-
voice Cole Quinn.
Yeah,
That-
Mansoor. Yo, Mansoor versus Cole Quinn in the career mode. Oh,
we'll see how my
Sorry.
Rise goes this year.
my faction, Broken Zach, Mansoor, Cole Quinn, and Ali by the looks. That's
Yeah, I
people I've
guess
put over so far.
if you guys are listening, let us know what you think in the comments about that faction idea. If you got some of your own, please put in the comments because
Go right in on
Put in the
Little.
comments a name for my faction, and I'll make it in the game.
Zach is going to be a consultant for the GMO, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. We'll run down the rest of the spoilers. There's not really much that happens. The reason we're kind of going off on tangents and stuff because there's not
Because
really
I have
much to see.
ADHD really bad.
Well, maybe I don't know. You
Not really. I've never been diagnosed.
never diagnosed, Broken Zach. We get a promo segment between Drew McIntyre,
That's my next nickname.
Never diagnosed.
Never diagnosed.
I can picture Lillian Garcia in 2K16 and it's oh god.
Never diagnosed.
Like that
Broken
robotic. That robotic.
Actually, it has to be
tone.
Brock Zach, I think, because Broken ain't in the game.
Brock Zach. Wow.
Brock Zach.
Broken's
Brock
really
Lesnar.
not in the game. Is like a
I think they didn't want it for people to put Broken Matt Hardy, to be honest.
probably.
Oh, it has to be Woken Zach.
We will get on to our 2K yarn in a
woke.
little bit. So we get
Woke
another
up.
promo segment with Drew McIntyre, Madcap Moss, and Happy Corbin, whatever. After this, there were extended promos for the Elimination Chamber match and the Universal title match between Goldberg and Roman Reigns. The show closes for next week's, of course. We're still, there's still the spoiler. I'm going to timestamp it. You guys will know. The show closed with a contract signing hosted by Adam Pearce between the teams of Ronda and Naomi and Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville, because obviously they're going to have a match in Saudi Arabia. Words were exchanged, then Ronda threw the SmackDown Women's title at Flair. This broke into a brawl. Ronda slammed Flair's face into the table, and Naomi kicked Deville in the head. The closing moments of the show was Ronda and Naomi flipping the table on top of Flair and Deville, and eventually they cleared the ring. So that is what you got to look forward to for next week's SmackDown. Obviously, it doesn't sound like anything special.
Sounds like a skippable episode. Well, no, the Nakamura match can be good.
Yeah, I would definitely check it. Oh, and after we kind of review shows, me and Kenny last episode, if you guys listen, we give a little recommendation for what to watch. Really, I would say the only thing on this SmackDown to watch, I guess,
The one that we just had.
Yeah. Like I guess would be the Charlotte Flair Naomi match, because it was all right. Like it wasn't a bad match, but you could see
get the most time.
But it was a foregone conclusion. Like Naomi was never going to win that match, and you can watch the interviews with Roman Reigns and Goldberg.
I'd say rewatch Naomi's entrance to listen for the piping of the crowd. Watch Happy Corbin's entrance because the same thing happened where there was complete radio silence, and then it was like boo.
Listen for the piped in thing. We need a little tally counter that eventually to see how much piped in noise there was. It's probably just all the time.
Oh, it's like the Thunderdome. We never left.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're still
true.
there. It's like the Hunger Games.
Jeez,
We're
the
still in
booking's just as bad.
still in the cornucopia.
Oh, geez. That was a good throwback. If you guys couldn't tell, this is more of an open forum kind of conversation. This is less restrictive when it comes to what our guests can talk about, what we can talk about, how we this is like a different kind of thing. I know we go off on tangents, but this is just more of just a conversation. If you guys are into that, let us know.
For any podcast I've ever listened to, the random tangents off the track, that's the best part usually.
You got to get Bobby off the rails.
Bobby off the rails. That's right. Check out our GMO videos.
Going off the rails.
Cheap
Play-
plug.
Put the
Now we're gonna
clip in.
switch gears.
Put the
Before
clip
we-
in, dummy, in the truck.
Before we review
Dummy,
AEW
yeah.
Rampage, LA Knight. I'm a huge LA Knight fan.
I love LA Knight. Yeah.
Let's hope we can draft him in 2K. We'll see what Kenny has to say
Oh
to
my
that.
god! I hope he's in the
I'm a
game.
huge fan of Santos Escobar.
He'll be DLC. Well, shit, that's another one I was kind of picking up. But anyways, before we go on to review AEW Rampage, we are going to run down the card for this week's, I guess, technically, since we're recording on Valentine's Day. Elimination Chamber, Saudi Arabia. Kenny, you got the match card in front of you. Run down
Hold
the
on
card,
just
we'll
a
make our
second.
predictions.
Man, what a bunch of virgins are here sitting talking about wrestling on Valentine's Day, eh?
Man, I already got mine in.
Yeah, I can also
Early worm
state.
gets the bird.
I'm going on 3 years, but go for it.
Man, no.
Send
no
them
shame
some
in the
guys. Come on, send Zach some love in the comments.
hand. Send him some palm twin emojis.
Get me a cameo from Mansoor.
Exactly. If anyone needs a spruce in their day, like a nice little boost, they need a Mansoor cameo.
Do they have a Mansoor action figure yet?
No, but if they do, I'm buying you 5 of them.
The Chase variant.
You can make a faction of Mansoors.
Oh my god! Put him with the elite.
The Mansorcerers.
Yo, that could be my name in the group. The game.
Come on, sorcerers.
Oh my god.
That's it. That's the name.
Oh, this is awesome, guys. We're gonna have a lot of content on this new game coming out, 2K22. Stay tuned. If you're into wrestling video games, if you've watched our previous SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 content, you're probably gonna like this. So stay tuned for that.
You're gonna like it a lot.
That's right, Kenny.
Guaranteed.
Will you please run down the match card, and we will all kind of predict who's gonna win.
Alrighty, we will start with the predictions for the tag team match between Ronda Rousey, Naomi versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville.
I see Charlotte and Sonya Deville winning just because I feel like the champ's going to have some heat going into Mania. Well, but at the same time, it's tricky because I don't know if they want Ronda losing. But listen, Naomi would take the pinfall, obviously. I don't think Ronda's going to lay on her back. So
Naomi's going to eat that pin.
I'm not really excited for any of this. Oh, really?
I'm on the opposite side of things. I see Ronda making Sonya tap out.
Okay. I think I'm gonna lean on the side of Flair and Deville. I don't see Naomi going farther up the card, and I kind of see them kind of bringing Sonya Deville back as a full-time wrestler, hopefully, and maybe give her.
Oh yeah, she's being fired very soon.
I feel like she's going back into a wrestling role. So
I mean, she already broke her clause against not like attacking Naomi. She broke it.
Mm-hmm.
So
what is the consequences?
They'll probably forget. They'll probably forget next week.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there's a contract signing next week on SmackDown. So
with a really good bump where she hits her in the head on the table.
Yeah, we're not in the spoiler section now, so I kind of just messed that part up. But hey, it's a contract signing.
We didn't spoil it. Just bleep it out.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm sure no one's clamoring for it.
I'm sure nobody's day is gonna be ruined finding out that there's a contract signing.
Yeah, I know that's revolutionary TV right there.
I bet you there's a brawl after.
I bet you somebody goes through the table.
All right.
Anyway, so our final predictions, Kenny and myself, we're going with Flair and Deville. Zach, you're going
Ronda and Naomi.
Nice.
Ronda.
So, all right. Next, here we have the women's elimination chamber, which is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus Doudrop versus Nikki ASH versus a to be announced competitor.
What I'm interested is who, if we're going to see them on Raw tonight. We probably will.
I'm thinking that they have to pretty much show you before the show, don't they? Or
that's a missed kind of marketing opportunity there, and they love to announce stuff before, like when they really don't have
to.
Love
to disappoint
you guys, it's obvious who the sixth participant in that match is.
Oh, he's got to figure it out.
Mansoor.
It's Miss Sore. It's like
listen, he's got to grow the hair out. It's not going to work.
He has the hair in 2K.
I guess so.
Outdated.
You got a point.
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, Zach's very upset. You can't listen. If you're going to outdate his favorite wrestler, he's coming for you, 2K.
Hey, AJ's pants are outdated. He's my favorite, so there you go.
Oh, but with this match, I really don't know who I think the mystery participant is. I don't think it's anyone through the forbidden door like everyone likes to say nowadays. I think
it was someone in the forbidden door. They wouldn't be showing up at a Saudi show.
Probably someone through the bathroom door.
If through the catering room. My two predictions. Now I don't know for sure. I haven't read up on Lacey Evans. But it could be Lacey Evans. I'm also thinking either Asuka or Alexa
Marie
Bliss. Oh, for the love of God, please no. Listen, Eva Marie's had enough chances. She wasted a SummerSlam card spot on the card. We'll not talk about that.
She wasted a spot on the Raw roster.
Anyways, Zach, who are you going for in this? And by the way, I'm going for Bianca Belair.
I think the mystery person is going to be Asuka.
Yeah, she got a big rating in the game.
It's possible. the other options I'd say are Bailey, but I don't know about that. Evans, I don't think they'd save her as like a mystery person. And who else is on the Raw roster? It's Tamina, Zelina. They ain't gonna be
Yeah.
TV
It's
next.
definitely some kind of return.
So I'm gonna go with Asuka. And I think Bianca Belair is gonna win. But I think Asuka's like the story going in will be Asuka wanting to face Becky Lynch, where Becky Lynch gave her the championship when she got pregnant, you know?
Yeah.
But
That'd be a cool throwback.
yeah, Bianca Belair is winning regardless.
Yeah, I got Belair winning. I don't see how they don't go Belair here.
The story just kind of writes itself.
If
Belair got
if
punked dead
Dewdrop
on
wins, I will
SummerSlam.
eat my hat.
And if they try to like get too fancy with it and do someone else, it's gonna be It's gonna be stupid.
Well, it's weird
Yeah.
enough that they ain't got Ronda going after Becky, so
Yeah,
That's
the only other thing is Bianca because Becky's been trying to avoid it for months. So,
But when you got Charlotte Flair on the card, you're not gonna have her face some schmo. I think it's obvious that Charlotte's definitely got some pull.
I would like
At
to
least
face
in my
Lita
belief.
myself.
Yeah, I think Charlotte has pull back
Oh, yeah.
there. I think maybe even I don't know if this might be debatable, probably even more than Becky.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. I'm not saying it was her decision to face Ronda, but I mean, listen, if you're Vince, either match is going to do great numbers. I'd have a feeling. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with either choice. I mean, they put themselves in a good position. Am I more interested in a Charlotte versus Ronda match than I am a Ronda versus Becky? No, I'd rather see Ronda versus Becky. But there is a story to be told there with Bianca and Becky, with the loss at SummerSlam. Bianca hasn't really got her redemption yet, so I'm hoping they see it. And if they don't, I mean, that's just how they book a lot of their baby faces. They never get the heat back.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting Bianca Belair to win the Royal Rumble, so
I know.
I was expecting her to be the cool. Oh, look, the first ever time a woman's ever won 2 in a row, and then they'd have the match against Becky. But I guess they're
She's such a big star.
dragging
even
it
though
out
the
like you do
fan
everything
loves-
else.
The fans love her.
Bianca, yeah, she's great.
They called for her rating to go up in the game once they showed it.
Did they? Didn't know that. That's cool.
I
Oh,
think
yeah, she's definitely got a good fan base behind her. Like it.
started out as an 86, and then they bumped her to an 87 because of fan flag.
I just think
I didn't even
think
notice
it'd
that.
be a good scene watching back-to-back WrestleManias where Bianca's holding up the belt. So
It's a good redemption story. I think there's a lot more heels that Bianca could face than there is.
you need another
legitimate
women's
faces.
star because you can't rely on the 4 horsewomen forever. So
They ain't gonna push Liv Morgan.
no, Liv
No,
Morgan.
I
She might
don't
win the
think-
Mania Battle Royal, but she might have a random title reign at some point, but it ain't gonna be during Mania.
They'll probably with the tag belts with some Randy.
And Dewdrop,
Yeah.
no. Nikki Ash, absolutely not.
Ass.
As Kenny
Rhea
likes to call her.
Ripley, I think that sales shipped at this point.
Yeah, it's a shame too. I feel like hopefully she can get her win back against Charlotte, and also she can get to that main event, status again, because
Yeah,
she's
Rhea
another
Ripley's
one who's
great.
never really got if Ronda did not come back this year and win the Rumble, I would love to see a Bianca versus Becky and then a Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. Rhea doesn't really have a place on the Raw brand, not in my opinion. I think she is definitely needed on SmackDown. Aaliyah is
100%.
not the babyface that a lot of people I don't think are going to get behind to
No,
rise
I
to
don't
the
think
top.
I'm catching on.
She
Aaliyah's
just came out
very
of nowhere.
Her
Yeah,
She's a
short,
jobber on NXT.
her victory roll up or whatever in 3 something seconds. They're trying to make that a deal out of that when
Yeah.
that's just horse shit.
it's
Like,
nothing.
you-
I mean, we
Yeah.
see roll up
Both
wins
that.
all the time, so it's not impressive. But anyways,
No.
moving on from this match, let's go on to the next one. Kenny, what do you got for us?
We got McIntyre versus Madcap.
I mean, easy. Easy.
Yeah.
If McIntyre does not win, like who said earlier, I will eat my own hat, because if you have McIntyre lose, all that credibility you built up, it's already
It's already
tarnished as
crumbling
is.
now.
It's crumbling. It's not completely
It's
tarnished.
false count anyway, right?
It is false. Yeah, they got that
that's right.
change. Yeah.
I forgot to say that.
Corbin will be involved,
Yeah.
Happily.
but I see the finish now. We get Claymores to both of them, and he stacks them for a pin.
Yeah, that'd be
Probably. Yeah, I can see him pinning them both for no reason. Just
And
As
then
long as this
Corbin
is the
gets
final
butthurt
match of
and
the
wants a
feud.
match at Mania.
yeah. Well, Corbin's beat Kurt Angle at Mania, so you better watch out.
He has brought back bad memories.
Oh, I love Kurt Angle, man. Why'd they do
I
that to
know.
my boy?
I love
You
him
met
spraying
Kurt Angle
bald.
in real life.
Wish he'd
I
spray
did
me.
meet Kurt Angle in real life.
Is he as bald as he looks?
Yeah, he's kind of red.
He's a Brock Lobster. But yeah, easy prediction for all three of us. We're gonna go Drew McIntyre. Let's go on to the next matchup.
Usos versus the Viking Raiders.
I think
That's
it's another
another
easy
easy one.
prediction.
Yeah,
Usos.
that's
There's
pretty-
not much to say. Usos. I'm going Usos.
Rolling over into another freebie. Like
Usos are gonna win.
Becky versus Lita.
That's gonna be a good match.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a great spectacle to see. Obviously, Becky's gonna win, but
As much as I'd
I'm
love
excited.
for Lita to win, because Lita's the shit. She's so good.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
for her age too. Like,
He's still doing moonsaults and it scares the absolute fuck out of me for
Right?
her.
She's so close to the ground.
oh
Yeah.
no, she did hit
Yeah.
a very good one on Raw last week though.
Becky
were
Lynch
low rider
is
version.
going over to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania.
Yep. I think we all kind of foreshadowed that as well.
Yeah, so there's not much. Kenny, so you're saying Becky Lynch as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it has to be Becky, pretty much. It doesn't make booking sense otherwise, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we moving on, I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
We will go to Roman versus Goldberg.
Now this kind of scares me.
Because you know they
'Cause-
like to mess with shit.
They do. Now
And Brock
it's Roman
Lesnar in that
Reigns.
chambers.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we are getting the title for title. That kind of spoils the prediction I got up ahead, but I think we are getting the title for title match. But I see
God.
Roman winning. Listen, as much as Bray Wyatt was looking mostly dominant when he was the Fiend, Roman Reigns is just on another pedestal, like in Vince's mind, I guess.
Mhm.
So a guy like Bray, who for a lot of years didn't really see main event spots in a way, like kind of but like
For a while.
title reigns, I guess you could say. No, I mean Roman is the title guy. Like they're feeding him the belt a lot more than anyone else really. So like with Goldberg, I think if he goes out on a loss here, and maybe Roman will kind of show him some respect, sends him off, for a nice kind of exit for Goldberg for hopefully ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
He needs to go away.
Yeah, he should retire.
the story tells itself, in my opinion. Like I don't see Goldberg facing anybody else unless we get that Goldberg Riddle rivalry match. But
No.
I just like, who else is big right now? Like in your guys' opinion, that he could face, and it could be like
I know
an
Big
actual-
E wants it.
Yeah, but even then, I'm not sold on that. To be
But
honest.
I would have believed that a month ago when Big E was a main eventer
Oh,
on Raw, but now he's stuck
yeah,
in the
yeah.
tag division. I don't think they're gonna randomly do it.
His title run was
No.
so forced, and he ate so many pinfalls during that title run.
It's terrible.
He should have. You may as well have put the U.S. strap on him. It was the same thing. He was the interim second U.S. champion.
Yeah, there's
In my opinion, that reign was just you fed him to the wolves too many times for him to have any sort of relevance.
even with Kofi too. It's not like Kofi had like a very good reign that you remember. Like honestly,
no, it was more about the Mania win than what he did after.
I think the best kind of title reign in this modern era that I can even think of right now off the top of my head is, well, probably because it's so recent, but Roman Reigns is universal. Look at the feuds he's had. Look at the guys he's put away.
Roman's on
Jey
a Walter run.
Uso, Daniel Bryan when he was still with WWE. A lot of guys, and I wish we would have got that Jeff Hardy feud, but a lot of
Oh,
guys
that would've been
that
great.
were credible, that put on good programs, had good segments. But who else could you say? Like, even when Styles was the WWE champion, I would still say Roman Reigns' Universal title run's better. What WWE title reign that I like the best in this modern era? I can't really think off the top of my head.
Jinder Mahal's.
I love the Punjabi prison.
Talk about the ratings falling, which they did.
Jinder
No, but
Mahal.
really though, Roman Reigns is
He has
the
been.
guy.
He has been the best. Yeah, this has been the best reign. I wouldn't even say just Universal. I'd say just in general. A world title run where the guy actually feels like unbeatable and a big deal.
Like, I don't know who's gonna beat him. No idea.
No. And that's the I was thinking Drew.
800 days before
Drew McIntyre could do it.
I thought that before he had the
I don't
Jinder
know.
Mahal and Baron Corbin feud. Sorry, Happy
But I don't
Corbin.
know.
Happy.
Now, he's happy now. But yeah, I don't know. I can't. I don't know where this is gonna go.
McIntyre is undefeated
I think
since going to SmackDown.
I think Roman's gonna keep it another full year and then he'll lose it to Breaker.
right? He'll lose to The Rock.
That's all. If they really do want this Raw Roman match, which I feel like we are gonna get eventually, I don't think Rock is gonna beat him.
No, Roman.
I feel like Roman and Rock's a match that doesn't really necessarily need a title. So if that does happen, hopefully he'll lose that title by then. Because I don't think that match really needs a title. I think they could give it to someone else. The title can help build people, but they got to book them in, championship ways. Yeah, like with big, you can't just have lackluster feuds and expect, like, what do people remember all these world heavyweight title runs with Batista, Triple H when he was on his reign of terror, and WWE? Like, people will remember some John Cena title reigns with the world championship, some Edge title reigns.
Because they
Randy
defended it
Orton.
a couple times and kept it.
I mean, even Jeff Hardy, for the short time he had it, I mean, it was memorable because a guy like Jeff Hardy won the WWE title. But no, it's like the WWE title's lost a lot of its world titles in
That's a
general.
shame.
The belts, I think, have been in the worst state in a long time.
The whole company's that way at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's not about like valuable or I guess quality booking. It's more about what their checkbooks look like. And that's, hey, they're a business.
I feel like being the Universal Champion, it's beating Roman Reigns. That's like.
Yeah, it's become more of the title. Is
like
Roman.
Roman Reigns, that's just a prop. The Universal title is just a prop at this point.
Yeah.
It's beating Roman Reigns is what's going to be like, shit. It's like beating The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like Taker was a guy that never really needed a title just because he already had the aura around him. But the guys that did win the title, it did help them. And it's a shame that these title reigns just feel like nothing. Like all of them, the tag team titles.
Shinsuke Nakamura has been Intercontinental Champion since like the summer. He's defended it once or twice.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The women's tag titles, I don't even know who's champions.
Zelina and Mella.
I know who's the champion. That's proving the point, Kenny.
After we review Rampage, we'll go on about what titles should be retired. Is there any more matches on the Elimination Chamber card? I believe there's one more, right?
I believe there's the main event.
The WWE Championship Chamber with Lashley, Lesnar, Rollins, Austin Theory, Styles, and Riddle. Who do you guys got?
I honestly got Lesnar. I've never bet against Lesnar in any pay-per-view.
That's
I've always been disappointed.
So you're on Lesnar?
I am going Lesnar. I feel like they will do title and title just for the, promotion
There's
of it.
So many options here, though. You have Seth Rollins, who can defend against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. You've got Riddle, who can defend against Randy Orton at WrestleMania. You've got AJ Styles, who can defend against Edge at WrestleMania. I don't think Brock Lesnar's going to win. I think when someone gets eliminated, you'll see the Usos pop out of nowhere, jump Brock, and then you'll have Roman Reigns jump him. When that door opens for someone gets eliminated, that's when Brock is in trouble because he will be attacked by the bloodline. It depends on if the championship chamber goes on first or last.
Yeah.
If it goes on before Roman's match, I think Roman will screw him up.
Probably.
That's very good insight. That actually, yeah.
Because but if it goes on after, why wouldn't Roman Reigns not want both belts though, right? If he knows Brock's gonna win, he might want both belts. Pointing back to the other one, what if Goldberg beats Roman Reigns
Yeah,
and Roman
that's
Reigns
big.
gets involved in the chamber and tries to screw over
Oh,
Brock
Lord.
Lesnar? That wouldn't make any sense at all, would it? Because he
If
would have
we
any
ended
title
up
match.
having Roman losing the Universal title and then Brock winning the WWE Championship, and then we have Brock
that would
versus
just
Roman,
blow
for
my
the-
mind.
that would be the crazy. Now, I believe it could happen. As crazy as it sounds, I can see this happening, but they've always touted this whole, like for a few months now, I feel like, or a few weeks at least, the title for title match.
They've been
Not a
talking about it. They've
unification,
been
but the
hyping
title
it.
for
I can
title.
see
Yeah.
him doing it.
That's
They've
why
never
I'm going to
did
say Lesnar.
unification, though.
And they can have Roman have both belts and be on both shows because they did it with Becky Lynch with the two
Yeah.
belts.
Roman's the kind
And
of
not-
star where you actually kind of want him on both shows,
So,
to be honest.
I really have no idea who's going to win this match at the moment.
He's
If I'm going to
undecided.
guess anyone, it's not going to be Austin Theory. If I don't think it's going to be AJ Styles, I feel like AJ Styles might win that US title tonight, and then maybe Edge and Styles for the US title. That would bring great prestige to that US title if they did that.
Yeah.
Riddle, I'd love to see Riddle win, but I just can't see him doing it. I can't
It's not
see
the
Vince
time.
pulling the trigger on Riddle
No.
just yet.
Maybe
Especially,
eventually.
I can see Riddle and Randy next year at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's where they got to build next.
So
Like,
this is leaving me
past
with
that.
Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. I'm probably forgetting who else is in this match. Austin Theory, he ain't got a chance in hell.
I would no, honestly though, like and Lashley, of course, the champion.
Lashley, no, I don't think Lashley could retain, but who's Lashley gonna face at WrestleMania? There's other rivalries already that can happen. I'd like to see Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the title.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm very unsure on my pick, but I'm going to go with Seth Rollins and be different. Where Seth Rollins was supposed to win the title at day one. He was supposed to win it at day one, so I feel like Seth versus Kevin's the direction they're going because they just signed Kevin on a new deal. Maybe it's like, okay, let's give him a title match at WrestleMania. Where it's not going to be like the main thing where they got Brock and Roman for the other title, so they can like experiment more with the WWE title.
Yeah, I can see that being more where they want to test the waters. I'm just so scared of the stop-start stuff they kind of have going if it's a Lashley loss. Because you would have Brock at like 20-something days, and then you got Lashley at 20-something days, and then you have...
It hurts the prestige a little bit when they do that, when they just kind of trade it like
like consecutive...
But man, they're saying how WWE feels like late 90s, early 2000s WCW. That's really going to put that nail in the coffin there because those title reigns changed every week.
Yeah. Like with the mid-card titles, I'm okay with it.
That's
in a
more
sense.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, like, and I actually thought that the Cruiserweight title would have been better off had they actually traded it a little bit more. And, you know, the best part of the Cruiserweight division, I know it's kind of off topic, but like when it was on Raw was Neville and Austin Aries, but they never had Austin Aries win that title. Now, whether it was backstage,
like 3 matches.
Yeah, exactly. Like at least he could have won on the third one or the second. But they didn't
drop it to Enzo.
And that's the thing you can't. I mean, everyone does the cruiserweight style of moves. So when you get a belt like that, and there's a lot of championships right now that are not really needed. As a personal fan of the cruiserweight division, like the early days of 205 Live, it sucks that it's all over, but I'm okay with it being over because it was never going to be really taken that seriously. And even in NXT, it wasn't really taken that seriously.
I don't know if this is controversial or not, but the cruiserweight division died when Buddy Murphy lost it to Tony Nese.
Yep.
That's when it started going on its decline.
That's when Murphy was champion, 205 Live was unmissable TV. That shit was good. Murphy and Neville are at the top when it comes to that cruiserweight division.
Oh yeah, very. And
then below them you got Ollie, Brian Kendrick, like the good shit, and then everybody got released. So,
but you look at all the guys who were in that cruiserweight division and where they are now. I mean,
I only know how many of them still with him. Gulak,
There's not a whole lot, really. Like we're talking
Alexander.
original talent.
Yeah, like
There's Alexander. There's Ali for now. What we know of, maybe he will get granted his release next. Because after Mania, they do a spring cleaning, so maybe they'll just kind of shack
It
him
was
off
in
after
that
that.
tournament back in the day.
they
But
still got Gulak.
They got Gulak. Yep.
I don't even know. Let's see who's the Lucha House Party's all gone.
yeah,
Akira Tozawa, I guess. Yeah, he was a former cruiserweight champ
Yeah.
the power of Tozawa.
when he was in Titus World War. What a weird time.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That stable was weird.
The point that I'm basically making
Remember
with
when
all this
Omos was one
cruiserweight
of his
stuff.
ninjas.
Point is, cruiserweights is the shit. It's good when it's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like the junior heavyweight title works in New Japan. I feel like New Japan's probably the only one who can like do a title like that. I don't even know if AEW could pull it off necessarily, because you see the TNT championship matches and they got kind of. I mean, everyone like I said earlier, everyone does the cruiserweight style. So you're taking a gamble when you introduce that belt, and the same with having two women's tag team championships in the company. What I'm referred to as WWE. I am not a fan of that decision. There's no real worth to any of these titles. At least with NXT, we kind of see them more. Like there is a program right now with Indy Hartwell, Persia Parada, and Toxic Attraction, which is, I mean, hey, why don't we see that on main roster? Are you telling me that when if Toxic Attraction go to the main roster, that they're going to suddenly treat the tag titles as relevant or as a big deal? Belts are props at the end of the day, yes. But, bringing it all full circle with every title in WWE, besides the Universal right now, keyword right now, they all just feel so unimportant. Like, especially, I mean, the lackluster designs is one thing, but it's just how every champion recently has kind of been balked that isn't Roman Reigns. I mean, even look at Lesnar. I mean, Lesnar has had some good matches while he's the champion, but he's a part-timer. And the reason why I'm not bringing Lesnar into the kind of, picture when we go after Mania is because he's probably not going to be there. And if he is, it's going to be a very, some one-off matches. But I don't want to see him as the champion again if he's just going to leave.
Yeah, it'll be
those mid-card titles are easy fix, though. You give AJ Styles that US title tonight, he can go with places with it. He can face Edge. That IC title, though, needs The Miz.
Yeah, The Miz is Mr.
When The Miz has that Intercontinental Championship, the stock in that title just
him and Dolph Ziggler 2016.
To the moon. Oh,
that's
my
all
God,
you got to say.
so good.
That's all you got to say.
The Miz ain't doing nothing on Raw. Throw him to SmackDown, give him the IC title.
I'm more interested in the NXT championship. Like, what's going on with that right now than I'm in the WWE, and that's a problem.
True.
Look at the roster. Who's that? Like Santos, you got him contending. Breaker's the champ. Dolph's just coming in. Tommaso's still kicking around. I'm sure Pete Dunne might even go into the mix at one point.
You got
a lot
Tony.
of people there. Tony D'Angelo. I mean, depending on how they want to book him, I see him more.
You
also
got that North American title though too.
Yeah.
So.
Von Wagner.
I like Joe Gacy.
Yeah, he's got a very interesting gimmick there.
Kevin Owens 2.0.
But now that we've done all the Saudi Arabia Elimination Chamber, or let me rephrase that, the Elimination Chamber Saudi Arabia edition, we can move on to AEW Rampage, and I'm going to let Zach F. and Simp take this over.
Oh, God.
He's
going
to run down the notes.
So, Rampage. We start off, we go straight into the action. No messing around. No entrances, nothing. You got Young Bucks versus Roppongi Vice. A classic New Japan Pro Wrestling rivalry. The match starts off. We got Nick Jackson immediately knocking Rocky off the apron. And then him and Trent have an exchange leading to Nick Jackson getting knocked to the outside of the ring, where Rocky Romero will hit a Hurricane Rana off the steps. You know what I mean? Jumps off at Hurricane Rana. Good shit. And then back in the ring, you got Trent and Rocky ping-ponging Matt between each other with punches. And then Rocky's tagged in. Roppongi Vice in control now at the start, with the Bucks trying to retreat to the back they just want to give up, count out, loss, whatever. But Roppongi Vice chase him down. However, run into stereo super kicks from the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks then run down to the ring and try to get a count out victory. However, Rocky Romero makes it back into the ring at the count of 9 with a little bit of assist from Trent Beretta pushing him in. Young Bucks now in control of the match. They get into it with Orange Cassidy on the outside of the ring. However, he rolls under the ring, and you see a thumbs up coming from under the apron.
Oh, Jesus.
Young Bucks pull him out. Who is it? None other than Danhausen.
Danhausen.
Danhausen then curses the Young Bucks. And then Roppongi Vice hits stereo dives on the outside onto him. The Bucks then later on in the match hit stereo power bombs onto the apron. This is during picture-in-picture, and Chris Jericho on commentary said how he took one of those and it left him out of action for weeks, referring to his time in WWE where Kevin Owens powerbombed him. Oh. And then Roppongi Vice hitting the Doomsday knee strike on the outside to Nick Jackson. More back and forth goes on, and then they are in the ring now, and Roppongi Vice hits a Doomsday device, the regular one with the clothesline, onto Matt Jackson, who lands on his feet, which is pretty crazy. Super kicks for Rocky and Trent, and then they hit a Meltzer driver onto Rocky. However, Trent breaks up the pin. But super kick to Trent Beretta, he's out, and then a BT trigger to Rocky Romero for the 3 count. The Young Bucks win the match. I thought it was a very good match. Neither team got buried in defeat, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to get a bad match with those two teams in the ring. I mean, all 4 guys are just
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything, and we're seeing a little more. Do you guys know if Danhausen's like fully healed, or is this kind of more of a way to? I mean, I can't.
I can't see him getting healed that fast. Did he like break his leg?
No. Oh yeah. He's obviously he can. I mean, you don't see no cast or nothing on him, so he seems to be doing fine. But yeah, you got to rehab that stuff. And I don't want to see Danhausen in a ring if he's not ready. If we get these little
ring, period.
I've never seen him before. I don't know what he's all about.
Yeah, Kenny's got a very.
I'm not a Danhausen fan. Okay, I'm gonna say it loud. I'm gonna say it proud. I am not a fan of Danhausen. I feel like his character questions my intelligence.
I think he's entertaining from what I've seen. I see him on Twitter. I like him on Twitter. I like him calling the Gun Club the Ass Boys. That's pretty cool. Anyways, after this match, we see the Switchblade, Jay White, appear out of nowhere, hitting the Blade Runner on Trent, and then he holds up the 2 Sweet. What do you think of Jay White in AEW?
I kind of thought they should have debuted him maybe in that instead of maybe backstage. No. I was freaking out. Like, if you listen to the last episode's podcast, the last episode of the podcast, I was freaking out that he was there. But obviously, looking back at it, now that I've kind of thought about it, I mean, it was a weird way to, especially back to back with Keith Lee. I mean, they debut in AEW basically back to back.
Yeah,
and the fact that he was in just like a backstage segment with Tony Schiavone, I understood why. I mean, obviously they're setting up for Rampage, but maybe if you want people to tune into Rampage, save that surprise for Rampage, and maybe people will tune in. It's like, well, Jay White just appeared. What else did happen on Rampage?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, do you think we're gonna see the other Bullet Club members like Chris Bay and El Phantasmo, like the guys that's in Impact with him right now, appear on Dynamite or AEW? Or is it going to be like with the Adam Cole storyline bringing, hey, look, he's Bullet Club, but like Jay White was never that era of Bullet Club.
He was never like an elite. He wasn't in the elite or nothing.
He's
was
never like, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I'm hoping for the Jay White Kenny
Club
Omega
versus Elite.
Oh, that'd be a dream. Eventually, we are gonna. It's gonna happen.
You got Cole, the Bucks. We'll say Kenny. Kenny's back at this point. I think there's probably like 4 members of Bullet Club. Yeah, you got Jay. You got the Gorillas, and I don't know, Chris Bay, somebody.
I think maybe slowly we might see Jay White kind of bring more and more people over time if he's sticking around. If it's just a kind of a one-off thing and they're going to revisit it, that's fine. Because if Omega maybe isn't ready to come back yet, then it would make sense that way. Because everyone, I think, wants to see Omega and Jay White. Omega side.
I love Jay White.
Omega side versus Jay White side, basically.
I don't watch New Japan. It comes on like 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't stay up for that shit.
Yeah.
The pay-per-views and stuff.
And
I'll look at it. Yeah. I'll look at it.
I definitely
remember
tune in every now and
seeing
then.
Jay White's the debut of the character. He took out Tanahashi. From day one, I was like, Jay White's cool, and then he won all the shit. I don't know if the fans they turned on him at one point, I believe, but Jay White
seems like he bounced back though.
Jay White is
he's got a promising career ahead of him. He's still young.
And he's still he's not I'm not too sure if he's even 30 yet, or if he isn't, he's close to 30, but still, I mean, 30s are known in wrestling as the golden years. Mm-hmm. So
back to Rampage. After that, you have on commentary Ricky Starks is on commentary. Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho both on commentary for this episode. Ricky Starks announces that Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin in a Face of the Revolution qualifier match on next week's Rampage. So that to look forward to. And then after that, you got Tony Schiavone backstage interviewing Bryan Danielson, discussing Jon Moxley and the different offers that him and CM Punk had. Bryan was saying that he wants a long-term relationship with Jon Moxley to help AEW, while Punk was just a one-night stand. That's the quote there.
Oh.
Bryan was then interrupted by Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty. Sydal insulted Bryan by wanting to mentor Lee because Lee's under Sydal's wing. Bryan said that Lee needs to learn violence. Lee then steps in and says Bryan wants violence. Lee will show him violence, which is setting up. Bryan Danielson said he'll see Lee Moriarty on Dynamite.
That's interesting. They're really high on this Lee Moriarty. I mean, they've mentioned his name a lot recently. Like over the past, obviously they got some plans for him. I think it's an interesting concept to have Bryan Danielson maybe beat him, and then they kind of start going up. Because if I'm looking at Matt Sydal and Bryan Danielson, I'm a young guy. But if I'm looking at the two, I think I know who I want to be mentored by.
Yeah, big time. It's Danielson.
I see. This is obviously leading to Bryan versus Moxley.
Oh, yeah.
Bryan he's wanting Moxley to be on his team. But my personal prediction, I think Bryan's just going to be building this stable. He'll have Lee and whoever else he mentioned.
I hope he gets Daniel Garcia. I'd rather see him with Bryan than with 2.0.
Yeah, Garcia's
because 2.0 don't need Garcia. 2.0's got they don't need him.
No.
But if Bryan has this super group of young guys, that'll be dangerous.
Yeah, someone that kind of fits Bryan Danielson's motive, really, like the technical wrestling. Obviously, there's a lot of guys in AEW, young guys especially.
If he can get Dante Martin as well and his brother. Have a tag team in the stable.
It makes sense. He needs if you got a stable, obviously Bryan's the main event there. But if he has Lee Moriarty, well, okay, he can be like the TNT guy, and then you got a tag team in top flight, of course.
Well, if you got Garcia though, he's also a TNT.
Oh,
guy.
Exactly.
Maybe Garcia can be in the main event and Bryan manages. Who knows?
That's the thing. We don't know until we see.
Maybe we'll have Bryan versus Garcia. Bryan will put Garcia over. I'm quite a big fan of Daniel Garcia.
Me too. I think
he's got something about him that he's just something about him.
Feisty. He's interesting.
Got that Kurt Angle vibe, kind of what was it? Perk Angle? He was Perk Angle.
Oh, Perk Angle. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Daniel Garcia so far. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of Daniel Garcia because look who AEW's got on the roster right now.
Oh, there's so many people. Daniel Garcia don't crack the top 10, but
With these younger guys, if you're going to build
He's a
them up, and I think
prospect,
it's a good strategy, and we see that obviously with NXT 2.0 when you're building up young guys, even with sports. Like I know this is different; it's sports entertainment, is what I like to say. But when you invest into young guys, you build them up, and you actually make them stars over time. It's gonna most likely pay off in a good way. Like you can't. With WWE, we see nowadays they just rely on the old guard, and it's a shame to see. Like, why is Goldberg in this match with Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber when you could have given it to a guy who,
someone in their 30s.
yeah, at least someone in there, or at least someone who's gonna be there for what? Like this whole reliance on part timers. Like these young guys ain't gonna get the exposure just by being on Dark and Dark Elevation and Rampage.
If you don't give them the big spotlight, they're never gonna learn how to work in that.
The best career move is for guys like Garcia, guys like Top Flight, possibly Lee Moriarty, depending on how things go there, is with Bryan Danielson. Sorry, I'm still getting used to calling him Bryan Danielson. Yeah, but no, like it'd be great for them to get that exposure. Daniel Bryan I'm going to call him Daniel Bryan. He's always on at least Dynamite. He's always on Rampage. He's always on the top shows. You're going to be hard pressed to find Danielson on a Dark or a Dark Elevation. These young guys need that main exposure, whether they're wrestling or not. If they're with a guy of the caliber of Bryan Danielson, I mean, that's
screen time.
That's big props.
And you know, Daniel, or yeah, you look at you, caught me calling him Daniel now. Brian, having this group will help out some of the clutter they got down on Dark Elevation. Because if he's just got the young boys with him, there you go. They're getting TV time, and it doesn't feel like there's this clutter of people, like whatever it's called, bloated.
What I'd love to see is
a
callback to the Nexus.
QT Marshall sucks, Kenny.
But his group's a bunch of misfits, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were jobbers in my
they're
AEW
jobbers. They're still jobbers.
Man, but I feel like they could have done a little more with the people in the group. I feel like QT Marshall's just not that guy. He looks like a NASCAR driver.
He's not the guy.
He looks like Ryan Newman.
I mean, he's got the bowling shirts.
He does.
He looks like Ryan Newman.
Ryan Newman, the wrestler, would be the most.
Tony Kroll's gonna pop for that one. He loves NASCAR. Shout out to Tony Kroll.
Tony,
if you're listening, comment.
Comment. Ryan Newman looks like QT Marshall.
We'll get you on the show.
We'll get him to review NASCAR for us because we don't gotta watch it.
But
on lap 100, Tony Stewart.
Broken Zach is shooting here today, folks.
Nah, Tony's my boy. I used to have a Snapchat streak with him that was 1,000 days, and he fucked it up.
Ain't that the worst? I'm sure you got. Like, if you guys are listening, you can relate to that. Come on now.
Yeah, 1,000-day snap streaks. Big time.
I got one going with Justin right now. I think we're 7 days. So
7 days,
yeah.
And in 7 days, hopefully, we'll get some video game content. Little wink at the camera there. Let's hope.
Let's go.
That you can't see. The face reveal might come soon. We'll wait.
Roster reveal might come soon.
There's a reveal tomorrow, ain't it? Ratings reveal?
Yeah. Check out tomorrow. We're still doing Rampage, obviously, but we're going to get into 2K a little bit after. Stay tuned for that. What's the next thing on Rampage?
Britt Baker versus Robin Renegade is next. The commentators point out that Jamie Hayter is not out there with Britt Baker and Rebel. There's ongoing tension between Jamie and Mercedes Martinez. Oddly, Robin is in control at the start of the match. However, that doesn't last because Britt Baker starts taking her down and showing off or whatever. Nothing much noteworthy in this match. It's just a typical champion just getting her moves in. Baker hits the fisherman's neck breaker and then hits the curb stomp for the victory. The commentators just called it the stomp. I don't know if there's any name for that. He just said the stomp. After the match, Baker's got the lockjaw in on Robin Renegade, but out comes Thunder Rosa for the save. And then that's when you see Jamie Hayter. She appears. He runs down to the ring, helps out Britt Baker fight off Thunder Rosa. And then you also see Mercedes Martinez run out. She throws Jamie Hayter off of Rosa and then starts beating down on Robin Renegade. Rosa's fighting Britt Baker, my bad. Jamie does the same, throws Martinez off, and then they get into each other's face, arguing shit. And then Britt Baker breaks them up and hugs them both. She's just got them both around the neck. It's like, these are my friends.
So we got the protector in Thunder Rosa.
Why? Okay. I know it's great and all bringing local talent and all. Robin Renegade's probably great. Why would they bring in a local talent when they already have such a big roster?
The roster's so bloated. Yeah,
they could have had like
somebody.
I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head who they could have brought in to fight.
Red
Baker.
Velvet.
Red Velvet. Or yeah.
Layla Hirsch. I don't know.
My personal.
Layla Hirsch, they're hyping up Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, that is. I don't know if that's going to be Dynamite or Rampage. I can't see it being anything on
show maybe.
Oh Lord, but no, not to discredit any of the talent there. That's not what we're trying to do. But with Britt Baker segments, for me, they're very hit and miss. Now, listen, I've become more of a fan of Britt Baker over time, and she has gotten better. Especially like if you look at her very beginning stages of the heel turn, it wasn't great. Like that first segment with Shivani, I wouldn't call that anything spectacular or like a great start to a heel turn. Britt Baker is the best AEW women's wrestler currently right now in that company. She deserves to be the champion. Yeah, I mean, or you could say Thunder Rosa, and that's the thing. That's why these two should be in the women's main event picture. Because they're like Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, the two of the best. I don't even know if that's debatable, to be honest. You got Ruby Soho in there, obviously, but with time.
Conte, but I think she's got her fame off the booty.
Yeah, that's another weird thing. But yeah, like with a lot of
she's great though. She's really stepped up in NXT. She
never really got a whole lot of showing, to be honest. So you didn't really know what you were gonna get with Tay Conti. But
I just wanted to give Tay Conti a shit in case she ever notices me. You know what I'm saying? Ew.
You can notice me anytime.
Exposed.
A lot.
Oh god. So after that, you got Hook versus QT Marshall's top talent, Blake Lee.
Yeah, the man that no one knew.
So QT Marshall has this stable full of guys, but his top student, someone we don't heard of. Why couldn't they have a Hook versus Nick Comoroto, Aaron Solo? Well, I think he already fought Aaron Solo, but Nick Comoroto.
Yeah, he already fought Han
Solo. Put Hook versus Anthony Ogogo. Give Hook. All right, we've got the squash matches. Give him a real opponent now. At least people like.
What do you mean by real opponent? Like how real? How real are you talking?
Like not Blake Lee.
Like Wheeler Yuta or like what?
Yeah, like Wheeler Yuta, not. No, don't give him Keith Lee. Blake Lee's fine. Don't give him Keith Lee, or maybe give him Lee Moriarty. Maybe give him Matt Sydal, someone that can take a loss.
It makes sense what they're doing with Hook there.
Oh yeah, Hook's great.
He's been killing it. I mean, he squashes and this guy's like 22 years old. He's like 2 years older than me. So obviously you can't put him in a big picture on Dynamite.
He just got 2 gray hairs.
Yeah, I got stressed out just hearing that.
But like with Hook, I think what they're doing with him right now is okay.
I know that I'm breaking kayfabe right now. I got Raw in the background. Matt Riddle's on there. He looks like Jesus Christ.
Oh.
He's got his toque. Sorry about that. Rampage.
Raw. We are recording as Raw is going right now. We might do a live reaction to Raw someday.
He looks like Jesus. And then Seth Rollins is there. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Give him the squash matches, but eventually, I
think they're building up time, and I think that time is on Hook's side for sure. If you look at his age and how early he hasn't really even gotten a big foot into the wrestling business yet. I mean, okay, yes, he has because he's prominent on Rampage, but he's still. I wouldn't even say what's the term? Not green, because he can perform moves well, but. I mean, he's young. He hasn't been wrestling obviously he's just beginning his career. And with the bloated roster that there is, obviously we're getting Sammy and Darby kind of in the TNT picture. If he's not really going to be in a title picture, then I wouldn't necessarily put him on Dynamite at some point. Yes, have him squash someone because that's even more exposure. But I can see how they're marketing this a little bit. You can only really see Hook on Rampage. That kind of goes for a lot of the FTW guys. That you can only see him on Rampage. It seems like
that seems to be a theme of that.
But I think he will get the FTW title at some point. I don't know how they're going to.
Do you think that's what Hook's like first big thing's gonna be?
Yes.
Do you think he's gonna break out of the team FTW thing?
I don't know if he's going to break out of it.
Or maybe they'll turn on Ricky. Ricky's over.
Yeah, I really don't know where they can go. He will be FTW champ by the end of the year. That's my little prediction there. But that's not surprising because we're just in the beginning of this year. But I feel like at some point he will be FTW champ. And hopefully he can move on to being the TNT champion. I think Hook would make a great TNT champion in a few months once Sammy's reign's kind of over. But Sammy's killing it. I mean, listen, that TNT titles work great. The AEW World title, every title there, yes, I guess technically it is work great because AEW focuses a lot on the match aspect. But with Sammy Guevara, I wouldn't take that title off him, to be honest. I think he's been killing it.
No, he has to keep that thing. He's Mr. TNT at this point. He's stealing the show every time he's out there. And why ruin that? You almost took it away the first time, and then you give it back to him. So
no more Cody TNT title reigns, please.
What's that?
For a little while.
No more Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Cody needs to go away. They need to break his clause that where he can't face the world champion because
that's hurting him. That's hurting him.
That's straight bullshit.
I wonder if that clause can break where he's not contracted or whatever.
That'd be a great loophole.
Officially signed, so the rule doesn't officially apply
because he has no contract. He has no clause.
Yeah,
well, there you go. There's your.
I take that into an angle. A free agent.
There's
Cody
your
Rhodes.
double or nothing main event, folks. Hangman, Cody Rhodes.
And I'm okay with the dynamic where Cody thinks he's the good guy, he's the hero taking out all these dastardly villains in AEW, but realistically, he's just an egomaniac. Really, he comes across that way in real life. I'm just saying.
Baby face gives the fans what they want. Cody Rhodes is the biggest heel right now because he's not giving the fans what they want by turning heel.
But in his mind, and here's another thing I want to address here. I don't like all these insider terms kind of creeping their way on the AEW Dynamite.
I don't like that. I don't like that either.
Like Brandy, you're not going to turn heel, or you should just turn heel by now. And even with the Cody Rhodes T-shirt, what did he have there? He had, what was it?
It was a face cleaner.
Yeah.
It was just.
I mean, that's too. I don't know. I know kayfabe's basically dead at this point in 2022.
You gotta have some,
but you can't. I don't know. I feel like they're doing these insider terms because they think it's going to be like a great wink and a nod, but it's just coming off as so forced and so phony. Like no one wants to actively watch AEW just to talk about heel turns and face turns. They're here to see competitors compete at the highest level for the top championships, have the best segments. And Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes, they ain't doing it for anybody. It's like a so bad it's good thing. It's just, why are you on the show when someone else could be?
Man, they booed a man who went through a flaming table. That's hard to do.
Yeah, that was just a ridiculous way to kind of cap off that edition of Dynamite. That was nuts.
So back to the match. Yeah, it's a typical Hook squash match. Hook's always very smooth, very impressive in the ring.
You know what you're gonna get, folks, but he's still great.
Much to say other than the future looks very bright for Hook. It's looking like Hook versus QT Marshall, maybe Revolution or a future episode of Rampage or Dynamite, I guess. And before the main event, we've got the following matches shown to hype up Dynamite and next week's Rampage. Next week on Dynamite, we got Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Santana Ortiz. And they advertise Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa in a no disqualification match. And we got Wardlow versus Platinum Max Caster in a Face of the Revolution qualifier. And Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty was officially made. And the main event of this week's Dynamite is going to be Sammy Guevara defending the TNT Championship against Darby Allin. Next week's Rampage, they hyped up Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin in a Revolution qualifier, and Trent Beretta versus Jay White.
Should be good. I can't wait for that. It sounds like it's going to be a good Rampage next week, folks. I'm definitely tuning in.
So our main event is for the TNT, the AEW Tag Team Championships. You got Jurassic Express versus the Ass Boys, or the Gun Club, whatever you want.
They don't call them that anymore, do they? Jurassic Express.
No,
not
are
that
they
I've
not called
heard.
that?
What do they say them separately?
They just, I think they just say Luchasaurus and Jungle. But I haven't. Maybe I could be wrong, but I haven't heard the words Jungle or Jurassic Express story in a while. So I don't know.
Well,
maybe
Christian's in it, and they don't want Christian associated with Jurassic Express.
Now that Marco's gone, it's kind of just a 2-man. I do like that name, but I'm kind of glad Marco's, being phased out for.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys there now who signed that could probably be not let go, of course, but when their contract expires, they're not going to get renewed. I think that's an honorable business move by Tony Khan to do that, because it's a hard pill to swallow when you get released by a company that you thought was your family, like with WWE, like
they don't honor a contract.
We hear it on reports from Fightful all the time that morale is low, and AEW doesn't want to get into that same boat. And and Hikaru Shida has even said, like, she's had her gripes with AEW, and she posted a tweet. I don't know if it was today or maybe yesterday.
I've seen that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely there's rocky stuff happening but like I said, new company, they got to work out the kinks. Hopefully over time that the organization themselves can, instead of let the wrestlers have complete control, or only push wrestlers who have creative ideas, and hopefully they can kind of help some new talent out, or some talent who's maybe not booking savvy for themselves, kind of deal.
All right, so I'll be the first one to admit, at first, Gun Club Ass Boys, I didn't care about them. I didn't care. They're Billy's boys. But now I must say, their work recently, they're quite the solid heel tag team. I think.
Because people legitimately don't want to see them.
I think it's I think it's the Ass Boys. Like, that name is what's getting them over. I think that's what's getting them over.
They shouldn't call themselves that. I hope they don't call themselves that.
No, never call themselves the Ass Boys unless they turn babyface. But,
like, definitely have that a thing where it's like,
just
we hate this name.
I remember Billy Gunn's theme before when he first started in AEW was a DX ripoff. So make an Ass Man ripoff. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Same with Walter. I like it when they chant Walter to Gunther now, I guess his name is, and they just.
I like that picture of Walter slapping. That's good shit. You know that meme on Twitter of Walter bit to slap something. It's always like someone's ass or whatever. I sent it in the group chat the other week. Is this just picture of Walter with his hand up, bit to slap something? It was like a picture that Isaiah Cassidy put on there of Take On Day. Someone put the Walter.
Oh my god, that's genius.
Anyway,
best tweet of the week.
The match starts out, crowd's chanting Ass Boys. Walk up, Jungle Boy getting the takedown on Austin Gunn. They have a back and forth of arm wrenching. That sounds bad. Austin takes down Jungle Boy and does a suck it. He does the suck it. And then Jungle Boy takes down Austin, does the suck it. Colton now in the ring. Both boys retreat. However, Billy coaches in. He's out there talking to him. And then Luchasaurus is tagged in, runs to the outside, throws him back in the ring. Jurassic Express mostly in control now, but Austin gets a blind tag on Colton, who clotheslines Jungle Boy inside out. Jungle Boy does a complete backflip. Ass Boys chanting again, distracting Austin. And Jungle Boy's trapped in the corner. Colton and Austin stomping on him. Gun Club in control now. Nothing much noteworthy for the spots until Jungle Boy sends Austin Gunn over the top rope. He's like, Austin goes running at him. He slings him over the top rope. But however, on Austin's way out of the ring, he tags in Colton Gunn. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. Gun Club's still on the offense, frequent tagging between Austin and Colton until Austin starts talking smack to Luchasaurus, who's on the apron. Luchasaurus grabs him by the arm, allowing Jungle Boy to hit a snap German on Austin Gunn. Luchasaurus is now tagged in to hit the comeback on the Gun Club, who retreat, but Jungle Boy hits a dive on him to the both outside, throwing Colton Gunn back into the ring, who gets hit by the Luchasaurus' choke slam and then the moonsault combination. On the outside of the ring, we got Billy Gunn. He takes out Christian Cage, while Colton has one of the titles in his hand. The referee's distracted. Colton Gunn has the title, cracks Jungle Boy across the skull with the title, and covers him. We got about 2.9 count on that one. It was a close call. Jungle Boy kicks out. On the outside of the ring, we got Christian. He spears Billy Gunn. And inside the ring, Jungle Boy hits the kill switch on Austin Gunn for the win. Jurassic Express celebrates, and that's the end of Dynamite.
Dynamite?
Rampage.
Or Rampage! Rampage!
Oh, no. Botchamania.
Rampage!
I can't say that. I've botched a few things. But yeah, I thought it was a solid Rampage. It's the usual that you'd expect from Rampage. I don't usually with Rampage, it's just more, it's an elevated dark. And in my opinion, like you do see maybe some storyline progression, but it's mostly there for the matches. But the matches,
CM Punk debuted on that shit, man. What do you mean dark?
Sure. All right. Not putting it on the same category as dark. I'm just saying, dark's mostly matches.
They haven't had a moment since the first two episodes.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing will top it ever.
It's basically just like an after show of kind of like After Hours Do the Damn Dive. It's kind of like an after show of just like great matches. You can't really go wrong with that. What I'd like to see maybe in the future is Rampage dabble more into the storylines aspect, but they'd have to get a better time slot. They're not in a very good time slot. Not at all. I would like to see the ratings if they don't kind of appear because it starts, I don't know what it is in the States. I think it's like 10, even in the States.
Yeah, 10 States or 10 Eastern, 11 Atlantic.
That's a rough time slot to be in. Like it's, I can't blame them for the bad.
I know they don't want to go against SmackDown and they don't want to go on too early.
No, it's understandable. Yeah.
Saturday night probably be perfect night for them, but now there's pay-per-views on Saturdays by WWE and AEW occasionally has the Saturday night pay-per-view, so that wouldn't work either. And there's the occasional Saturday night Dynamite that's become a fixture. So I can't see them moving away from Friday. I can't see them going up against SmackDown, even though it'd be interesting. It would be very interesting for them to like dabble in it, like even for a little bit.
That 1 week where they did, it didn't end up well for them.
No.
But yeah, it's not a SmackDown. It's been around since 1999.
Ruby Soho in a match while Brock and Roman were on TV. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect AEW to just blow them out of the water.
Well,
I mean, even Dynamite struggles with the million sometimes.
When they were against NXT, I'd always watch Dynamite and then I'd watch NXT after. I would never watch NXT over Dynamite. I can't see myself watching SmackDown over Rampage either. But that's just because I'm a mark for AEW, I guess. No, not really.
No, you're a mark for Mansoor, but
Mansoor is on. I'm not watching it. But no.
It's a running gag. I'm sorry.
But if they know Rampage is up against SmackDown, they're gonna stack SmackDown, and I'll watch it. But and I'll also
they don't even have to stack it. Really, I think the history that precedes the show over the years, especially recently,
so much prestige.
Yeah, exactly. Once you got that albatross,
I don't know if y'all mind another Raw spoiler, but Tommaso Ciampa is currently on commentary for a Dirty Dogs tag match.
That's a strange concept.
Well, we're gonna definitely review Raw, NXT 2.0, and AEW
Raw may
Dynamite
be a very good show
later this week. Well, yeah, we'll wait and see. Hopefully, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things on Raw I'm enjoying a hell of a lot more than I'm on SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown's the shits right now.
But it's a
complete change because SmackDown was dominant for months, and then they kind of gutted their roster.
It switched though. It's about time when they flip flopped and had success on the Rit side.
Yeah,
it's just that third hour that's killing Raw for me because I fall asleep, man.
If they had RK Bro segments, Alpha Academy, I mean the talent that they have on Raw, if it was 2 hours, we might see. Oh my god,
Chad Gable's in my Fave 5 right now.
That's a big might though. Oh yeah, definitely an underrated guy.
Shoosh. Thank you.
Oh, that was great. That was great. Everything about that segment. I can't wait to watch. I'm gonna definitely. I can't obviously catch Raw tonight, but I'm gonna go back. We're gonna
Our
do
boy,
notes. We're gonna review
Vacant, Vacant.
Yeah, Vacant.
That guy. He's a big mark for Gable. He loves the Gable. But Riddle's his boy because
You guys will find out hopefully this weekend, since we are in Monday or on Monday. Monday. You will see hopefully another guest. You'll see Broken Zach as a regular on these after hour shows. He's we'll see if he becomes an official member of Do the Damn Dive yet.
We haven't offered him a contract officially.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see what the contract.
I just got to smarten up a little bit, tone down the ADHD, stay on track, wear my suit, button my shirt. Then maybe we'll sign a contract.
Why isn't your shirt buttoned?
Because it's a t-shirt, dummy. Yeah.
And he's home.
Why did you tell me that your shirt?
Throw it back.
Wait, Jut. I got a joke for you, Jut. Are you ready for this one?
Okay.
Doc.
Who's there?
Kenny.
Kenny who?
Exactly. Shut the hell up, Kenny Arrow.
Oh, you want me to cut a
button
promo
my
on
shirt
you?
if I want.
We could have a match at Hard Times in Kentucky.
This is a few. I'm liking this. You're seeing some storyline progression on this podcast. That's gotta be revolutionary here.
We're going to fight in the old NWA for
The
NWA,
brother.
For the 10
Holy
pounds of gold.
poop! That was some air on that one. Sorry.
Mike Knox versus
Class of 2K commentary.
Mike Knox versus Trevor Murdoch, baby.
Oh
Man,
boy. Only if.
Hey, where's this wrestling? Matt Cardona, a new NWA champion.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
we'll review some NWA in the future.
I'm
but
not
we're gonna
watching
cap
it.
off Rampage here. We're gonna get on to our ramble, which we kind of have been doing this whole time.
Yeah.
But listen, after hours is an open conversation.
Hey, is
Ear
Wrestle
porn.
Ramble trademarked by anybody?
I think it's got to be. There's
I
no
think
way.
I've heard that somewhere.
After hours is basically on the weekends. We might crack a few beer. Hopefully, you guys crack a few beer with us or
Okay,
whatever
yeah,
your
tag full of
extracurricular
Twitter.
activity is.
Puffus the THC.
We don't judge here on Do the Damn Dive.
Kenny and Vacant's gonna get along.
Oh yeah. I've been pausing my mic to who as we speak.
He's been
I paused
exposed.
my mic to clear my throat because I'm fat.
I'm gonna be the Rob Van Dam of this show, brother.
No, I just got a Yeti with water in it because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I am straight edge and I am better than you and you know it. Yeah,
The undiagnosed, straight edge, broken Zach.
undiagnosed.
Rampage got
I'm a foodaholic.
a foodaholic.
Oh.
He's got a lot of. Listen, guys, you already know he's the man of 1,004 nicknames. Rampage got 549,000 viewers this week. I guess
Man,
last
that's
week
it.
because we're recording on Monday. But anyways, just bear with us. They got a key demo of 0.19. That caps off Rampage. And now we're gonna move on, which we have been doing, like I said, to the Ramble segment.
All right,
Let's talk
I got a
some
complaint.
news here.
I got a complaint. TSN Network, put Rampage on. I'm tired
Yeah,
of having to
Canada
go on my
viewers are
computer and
robbed.
watch it.
Yeah,
I'm tired of going to have a computer and
watch
watch
YouTube
it. TSN.
highlights.
Yeah, it's
watched
hard
it
for
live.
Canadians.
They had one episode, and I have it on my PVR. The episode CM Punk debuted on.
It's hard for Canadians to subscribe to the WWE Network. Sort
Oh
of.
my
If
god!
listen,
it's
if
the
you
drizzling shits. It's just a channel over here. I got it.
obviously we have a lot of fellow Canadians who listen to this podcast, and I say a lot. We have a few. We're growing, guys. Get us to 50 subscribers if you like what you listen to, you like what you see. Anyways, to get the WWE Network in Canada, I don't know if someone's overseas and they're listening to this, possibly, you have to go through your TV provider. Commander Aziz overseas. You got to go through your TV provider with the network in, I guess, well, it's on Peacock now, but you can sign up with just having a Peacock account. You don't necessarily need a satellite provider, but with Canada, I'm sure it's not exclusive to Canada either. I'm thinking a lot. I think
Download a US VPN and get the regular network. I don't know.
that's yeah. We don't.
Kenny,
promote
try
any-
it. You don't care if you go.
I just steal from Tony.
He buns from the man. We've mentioned him a few times. Hopefully, we can get him on the
Tony!
show.
Tony!
TKLC was
My
his 2K
network
name.
hookup.
Is Tony ever coming on the show, or is he scared of the mic?
Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see. TKLC though, that's his.
But we
That
can
mean
do it.
TK. You want me to call him
TKLC. Yeah, we can call him
AOTK.
That was his name.
Who's winning the
2K.
Daytona this Sunday?
Tiger King. TK.
Broken Zach
We
has a
just-
history of calling people out on the podcast. He called out another guy.
I called it
named,
Brogue, didn't I? Last year?
Yeah.
He called it Brother Brogue.
Brother Brogue.
Brogan
Brogan
Loomis was
Loomis.
called out. But
Nah, that's my family right there. That's my oos.
That's the bloodline.
That's my
The
cousin
bloodline.
right there. That's my what's a cousin? He's my Roman and I'm Jay because he's the head of the table. And I'm just a little bitch.
oh,
I'm just
Bobby
kidding.
and Paul.
I ain't seen Brogue in years. What's going on, brother?
the unscripted Broken
The
Zach.
I'm unscripted. You don't know what's gonna come in my mouth.
I know we
That's-
said that this is a ramble, but
I'm like Dan Lambert the other week when he sees he's gonna get canceled. Christ, this
oh no, yeah, he's gonna go down in a fiery blaze of cancel culture. Let's hope not. Let's avoid that. We got a good community here so far. Let's try to keep it going.
It's all positive vibes.
Yeah, don't take anything we say too seriously.
Don't have
We're-
any hate speech.
That's right. We might say a few unpopular opinions on here, but there's no malice intended. We're
Rip
just
us in the
here.
comments.
We're
And he's
having a
gonna
good
get us
time.
in heat for saying he don't like Danhausen.
Man,
Listen,
Dan
I'm the
Hausen
booker.
is shithausen, and I'm gonna expose that man as the shitstorm he is.
Exposed.
We'll have to wait and see how Danhausen's AEW career goes. Zach, you did have some news about some trademarks that got filed regarding WWE.
All
Care
right,
to tell us
that's
what that was?
Hit us.
WWE filed a new trademark today for NXT Level Up. Gonna replace 205 Live, I assume. Last week on the show, I know nobody probably watches 205 Live. I don't ever watch it either. I look at it. Joe Gacy mentioned that people have to level up. He was on 205 Live, and he was going about the inclusivity. If you remember his
Emphasis.
rivalry with Roderick Strong, where he's over 205 and all that shit. I
He's
think
gonna
that
make the
this is
all-inclusive title.
I think this is the step in the right direction. They don't have a cruiserweight title anymore.
Yeah,
No.
that's
205 Live. No one on that show is under 205 except for the women, maybe.
The
honestly,
fact that the
Joe-
name even existed was bizarre to me. A lot of the
So
time,
I
was
think-
it even live? A lot of the time, I thought it was taped.
I
usually,
think
wasn't it?
Level Up is a really good name because it kind of makes it sound like
Yeah,
developmental.
exactly. Like people are these young competitors in NXT 2.0. They're trying to level up to the next stage. If you don't see them on 2.0, you might see it. A lot of the time, Gacy's wrestling on 205 Live, which is interesting
he's-
to me. But he is
His
on
character is
2.0.
one of my favorites. Him and Harland. Oh no,
I didn't
just-
like the start of it, but I can see it kind of going where maybe
I like the
top
botch
management
that
would
guy's
like.
hit into the mat and he just kept slapping.
just-
the mat.
like. I just thought it was very, like it was entertaining character.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, Gacy, when he first come in, I didn't see nothing crazy with him.
He
I'm
just
not
looked like a
saying
I don't want to get canceled. He looks like chubby Aleister Black.
I mean,
Just
he did look like an I ain't gonna use that word, but he looked like a bootleg Alistair, in my opinion. But I didn't know Joe Gacy on the Indies, so I don't know. Like, I'm sure he does. have a
Oh,
look
yeah.
on-
I think he was in a stable with Eddie Kingston and somebody else. And
Really?
Like,
What was he
One
known?
of
What
his
was his
companies there.
promotion? Like, what was he known for?
might be Evolve. It might be Evolve. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I really missed out on Evolve on its heyday and
I'm gonna look him
Progress
up right
Wrestling.
here. Joe Gacy.
A match I definitely want to check out is Theory
Yeah,
versus
he's a
Gargano.
former one-time Evolve Tag Team Champion. Oh, he was a CZW World Champion 3 times. He was also in CZW. He is one half the Evolve Tag Team Champions with Eddie Kingston.
That's freaky.
Oh. There you go. You
I
got a
can
little
see
history
it. I
lesson.
can see that because they're both really good on the mic.
Yeah.
So if they're like buddies and shit, for sure.
Oh yeah. Kingston is a master of the promo. Like, say what you about his wrestling. I still think he puts on. I mean, I think he had a good match against Miro on All Out, I believe it was.
Oh yeah.
I still,
His
I
match
like
against
to
CM
watch
Punk.
that.
Great.
Yeah.
He's
Eddie
definitely
Kingston,
a must watch when he's on
He's
the
not
screen.
flashy at all. He's not flashy.
But
You
he's
know, like,
gritty.
You don't everyone can't be doing flips.
No.
You
But
can't have
he
that.
he looks like a guy, and he's like, all right, this guy, as I believe he's from Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken.
He's
Yeah,
from,
he's from
somewhere
New
in New
York,
York.
inner city.
Yeah. He seems like that aura around him. He's got that
He's
Brooklyn,
got that you're talking to me going on.
but not Tony D'Angelo.
You want to
like-
taste? Oh,
Oh, now we're going to a bunch of stuff here. So let's move on to some 2K WWE, 2K22.
Kenny, who's your favorite Pokemon?
Probably Squirtle,
For fuck's sake.
because it reminds me of
Oh,
when I
no.
had to take
Is
a
that
piss when
controversial?
drinking.
It's not Charizard.
Oh, Zach, come on, Charizard, man.
That's my number one.
I can understand it, I guess, but I'm kind of more of a newer. I'm a newer kind of.
I'm sorry, I only mentioned that because I got this jumbo ass Pikachu card set in here. I'll put that away so we can talk about wrestling again.
Yeah, you can't commit to that because we might have to do a little giveaway. We're gonna sell all of Brooke and Zach's.
No, we're not.
belongings.
I got a Machine Gun Kelly CD if you want to sell that.
Yeah, maybe he'll be on some track. Maybe that'll be on
We
a
heard
few
his new
2K22
song about
tracks.
emo girls.
Oh my god, it's not very good.
No, I know. We could. Oh, fly almost just flew in my mouth. Fuck.
Emo girl. Well, okay.
Man, IRL just had a fly almost go in my mouth.
Bubba, it's winter. There's literally a snowstorm. Where are you getting flies
It's
from?
The AEW winter is coming. Flies are coming. Kenny Arrow.
Kenny's got bid bugs.
I got rabies.
Rabies.
Yeah, you don't
All
want
right,
me.
so go on bit 2K, Justin, before I go friggin'
That's all right.
baloney.
This is the rambling portion. We can talk about whatever. Guys, listen. If you, by the way, before I want to set a little, precedent
Say a
here.
prayer.
A little prayer here. If you guys want us to answer your comment or questions about wrestling, or it could be about anything. This is the rambling portion. This
You're
is
asking
the
for
part.
tax,
where-
guys.
Well, if we will answer all questions that we can. We will shout out your name. If you don't want your name shouted out, but you want your question read, just say you want to be anonymous or have an account that's anonymous, I guess. I don't know how that works. But anyways, we really want you guys' feedback on what we're doing. If you guys like this kind of format of what we're doing here on After Hours, I know it's a little bit rambly as opposed to our other podcasts where we review Raw, NXT, and AEW Dynamite. But that's just kind of the vibe we're going for here. These are going to be on the weekend. We're going to have some of our buds on.
Working
It's
on
going to
the
be a
weekend
conversation.
like usual.
That's right.
Watching SpongeBob and Scooby Doo.
We're just longtime wrestling fans. We just want to get our thoughts out there, but we want to have a little fun as well. So After Hours is all about that. Hope you guys are enjoying so far. Anyways, let's move on to getting back on track here. WWE 2K22. The roster reveal is tomorrow, as the time of this recording. This video might be up probably before, a little bit before or after the reveal's already happened. We might do a little live reaction if you guys would like to see that. Post down in the comments because we're here for feedback. And
hit us with some feedback.
whatever you guys want. We want to make the best content that we could possibly make for you guys. Hopefully this conversation has been interesting so far. But yes, the roster reveals are tomorrow. I want to ask you guys, what do you think of just all the marketing that we've gotten in the past few weeks with 2K? They've finally come out of their shell. They've released new info. We got all the modes in the game revealed, some 2K showcase matches, roster ratings, roster members that they're kind of adding some new blood in there. What do you guys think of everything that's been going on with the new game upcoming, WWE 2K22, especially gameplay as well?
I miss the old superstar reveals like they used to do, where they would
Back in
reveal everybody.
2K18.
I don't know about 2K18. It was like, I remember like SVR 10, 11, 12.
Oh, we're going back.
Like they'd have it. They'd introduce everybody. It'd show
It'd be a
little clip of their
panel.
entrance. It was good shit. I like that. You'd know everyone that's gonna be on the game. You might have a few surprises, like you had Brock Lesnar one year, you had Rob Van Dam in 11. I like the old superstar reveals. This new way, I can see them. It's probably easier on them because I know they don't like to market superstars they've released and shit. It's an easy way to like squeeze them in the game and like not have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be pretty awkward right now if they had this awkward. I can't speak. This roster reveal tomorrow, and Xavier Woods is like Jeff Hardy, 86.
Yeah.
And he mentions like, let's see, who got released? Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. Like Keith Lee's on AEW TV now.
Or even anyone in the Undisputed Era. We don't know who made it into my rise. I actually, now I can't credit this as my own thoughts because Smack Talks listen, guys, if you ever want 2K, we'll try to provide the best 2K news that we can. But Smack Talks, he's just on a whole other level. I mean, he digs down, he goes in depth. We're big fans of Smack Talks, and hopefully we can get our way into the 2K community. I mean, we like the podcast and stuff, but the video games are bread and butter. And with the combinations of wrestling, video games, and us talking about what we love, I mean, hey, we're just trying to have fun here. But hopefully, now he did say, Smack Talks, Buddy Murphy's gear was in a little teeny angle.
Yeah,
you could barely make it out. So whoever's in my rise, I don't think they can be taken out. It depends on what storylines they got for each.
I have a feeling that was your created wrestler, and I feel like you assessed the cycle. I feel like that's what it was.
Yeah, but the guy that fell off the scaffold, that was a created wrestler.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Was that Cole Quinn though?
No,
was there?
I don't know.
like, are they gonna have like the originals again? Like you have Cole Quinn and you had
it's hard to say. I would hope they go in a new direction in a way, because we've seen a lot of.
I will be very happy if Buddy Murphy's in the game. I love Buddy Murphy. He was my 2K20. He was my go-to guy. He's who I played as the most. He had a very fun moveset.
Oh yeah, we always like, and I mean, yeah, it's obviously it can be recreated very easily, but to have the Trons,
man, it ain't the same.
No, it ain't the same.
That's like kind of why. See, I don't like it when people get released and shit. Cause I'm like, shit, they ain't in the game, but good for them.
Yeah.
Because like, man, Jeff Hardy's gonna hopefully he's still in this game. With the no more words stuff.
I want some of the people to stay back behind.
Oh, but like this is potentially Jeff Hardy's last game.
I think he will be though, because he's been in like trailers and a lot. They can't take him.
I wonder when the cutoff was. I want to know when the cutoff was.
That's going to be an interesting thing to see.
I would say the cutoff was before 2.0.
Because there's been signs of like Cross in them, right? And they got released in November.
The Iconics t-shirts.
Iconics, geez, they got released like last Mania.
Smack Talks revealed that he did see a snippet. Sorry,
I suppose like the roster cutoff could have been last year's WrestleMania, right? Because they probably planned on having this game out last fall, like fall of 2021.
And I can see the Iconics in the Myra.
So that makes sense for Murphy to be in, because Murphy never got released till June.
Yeah.
So we could possibly see Cross, Keith Lee, Jeff, like people that's already been in AEW, like Adam Cole might still be in. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. We might get the whole Undisputed Era.
You think they'll get overall shanked because of they're in different companies?
I don't see him getting overall shanked. I just don't see him getting like in the roster reveal.
Yeah,
I could see it. There could be some quiet kind of reveals that they've never done that.
I remember what game was it when Cody left, but Stardust was still in the game, but they never ever like.
Yeah, that would have been 2K17.
Yeah, Stardust was in it, but Cody Rhodes was long gone, and they've been putting release stars in games for years.
Yeah, so it's nothing new.
If you remember back SVR 11, if you won like 5 matches on Superstars, Shelton Benjamin would come out and he was like gone.
Yeah. So. Yeah, a lot of you saw that a lot with the Smackdown Rods of those in 11. You had the Mike Knoxes, the Shelton Benjamins.
I remember they weren't assigned to a roster either. They'd be in the game as a free agent, which is interesting. Like they acknowledged it because like W's really weird about that shit.
Yeah, I feel bad for 2K. I'm sure they haven't been dealt the best hand, especially over time with
this game. Like, all this game is supposed
releases.
To come out like
October, isn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out like 2021, wasn't it, or 2020?
Yeah, like I think what will get a little bit hurt this year, not even the young, like maybe the young talent in NXT or like the up and coming talent that got released earlier. I think the legends, because you've seen a lot of legends contracts slip through the cracks. I'm curious of what Kurt Angle's status is with 2K22, because obviously we got the Rey Mysterio 2K showcase and you could say the biggest, but one of the biggest moments in Mysterio's career is winning the World Heavyweight Championship at Mania in that triple threat against Kurt Angle.
I think Kurt Angle's a guarantee. He's not signed anywhere else. I think they just contacted him before the Royal Rumble for something, but they canceled it.
Yeah.
I think Kurt Angle's guaranteed in the game. I think because he's got the match with Mysterio at SummerSlam 2002 as well.
Yeah, that was another big one for Mysterio.
I'm
That was
not
really
sure.
on too.
I'm not sure what else Angle was in for other than Mania 22, but
Yeah.
he's still be in the game.
He'll be in. I
Another
feel like he should be in at least one match, and then obviously that triple threat. But the only reason I say because I'm curious about Kurt Angle's status is he did sign that deal with the Wrestling Code, which is, if you guys don't know, the Wrestling Code is the same developers, I believe, Virtual Basement, who worked on Ark Survival, and there's also an Ark 2 coming out. So they've worked on a few games here and there, but yeah, I'm so far. Go to their YouTube channel and you'll see kind of the
I don't see
graphics.
him that interfering with anything because
No,
he's
and
not
that was quite
signed with
late
WWE.
too.
But a deal with 2K is completely different because you had Warrior in 2K14. You had Warrior, and I don't think he was on he still wasn't on terms with WWE at that point.
Well, you know,
And,
the payday, the checks come in. It's like, yeah, I'll join your.
I think
your game.
I don't know if this is fact or not, but I think even CM Punk said he worked with 2K but not with WWE at one point. So
Yeah, why not?
2K15 was a very rocky game.
Cut? Do it.
15 was like that showcase was fun.
What was the Punk cover? 13?
13 was Punk, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
you
the
had
the
to run
Attitude Era
Railroad.
mode. And then 14 had the 30 years of WrestleMania.
30
And
years.
15 had nothing. Another person I can see being in the game is RVD. He's not signed, I don't think, but he's got action figures recently.
He left.
He had a tag title reign with Ray. He was in the final 4 of the 06 Rumble, so I hope RVD's in the game.
Yeah, that would be a good addition. Seeing the 5-star frog.
So I think that pretty much wraps up everything we want to talk about today. We've got a lot of things coming in the future. Hopefully we can reveal them over time. Guys, let us know what you think about this format if we're doing our podcast for the after hours. If you think we should kind of be more on the line with our reviews on the shows, that this can be
off so fast.
this complete. No, he's here. You might see
I'm just kidding.
You might see a Zach All Elite soon, but only time will tell. Guys, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave a like. We're on the road to 50 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button
Let's go,
too.
baby.
We got a lot of great content coming out in the future. Hopefully you guys like it and enjoy it.
You.
And for now, I've been Jut Nick.
I've been the bearded sparrow, Kenny Arrow.
Come on, Jut. You introduced me. Now you gotta do it again.
Send him away.
Give
And
it
we are
to me.
sending off the best Mansoor fan in the world. Broken Zach. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for listening. Let us know what you guys want in the future.
Eat your
Comment
lettuce.
below. That's right. Eat your
Thanks for
vitamins.
listening to me ramble on. Thanks for having me on the show. I had fun.
Say your prayers. Drink your milk. We're signing off. Peace out, guys.